Expectations for the Tigers and their fans riding extremely high as they open up their ACC schedule against Georgia Tech. We'll be back with the opening kickoff in just a minute.
Is it safe?
Yeah, but hurry.
This better be quick. Come on, come on, come on. Whoa, there's no way we can beat Dollar's rates.
Hey, how are ya? The meeting's starting. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm coming. Yes.
Dollar.com?
Yeah, from now on. I can't afford us.
When it's your money you're spending, log on for our lowest rates at dollar.com.
The first oil filter ever made back in 1923 wasn't called an oil filter. It was called a purulator. Today, every car on the road relies on technology pioneered by Purolator. And the same company that invented the oil filter just keeps reinventing it. So that for anyone who cares enough to change their own oil, Purolator continues to mean pure oil then, pure oil now, pure oil later. Now in new pure oil packaging.
Welcome back, everyone, to a soggy and wet Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. The season opener in the ACC schedule between Georgia Tech and Clemson. It has been raining for most of the morning and here into the early part of the afternoon, but surely it has not dampened the spirits of the denizens here at Memorial Stadium, a.k.a. Death Valley. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones, along with Bob Davie. We're glad you came aboard here to Clemson University. Bob, when you look at Clemson and Georgia Tech, two teams extremely dynamic offensively, averaging 70 points a game between them combined.
Mark, anytime you talk about those kind of numbers and explosive offenses, it always starts with the quarterback. Both Clemson and Georgia Tech have talented quarterbacks. Both are off to fast starts. For Clemson, Willie Simmons, much more of a drop-back, classic-style quarterback than last year's quarterback, Woody Dantzler. What helps him? Tall and talented receivers. 6'5" Kevin Youngblood leads the ACC. 6'4" Derek Hamilton, just as talented. For Georgia Tech, A.J. Suggs, he's off to a terrific start. He has talented receivers. But what makes the difference? He has a balanced offense. Maybe the most interesting story this year in college football, a converted defensive back, Tony Hollings, averaging 150 yards a game offense. If this potential hurricane doesn't slow these offenses down, there's going to be some points on the board today.
All right, Tropical Storm Hannah wreaking havoc here in the northwestern part of the state. Here's a look at the weather graphic. Tropical Storm Hannah is moving ashore today, and it will certainly wreak havoc with the area here with a lot of precipitation. Clemson receiving the opening kick. Derek Hamilton, one of the top kickoff returners in the nation, a year ago fights his way out to the 30-yard line. And let's go downstairs for more with Holly Rowe.
Guys, believe it or not, this is the first time since Tommy Bowden has been coach here at Clemson that it has rained during a game. They are as prepared as possible, though. They removed the 1-foot crown at the center of this field during the spring. They have a 60-inch storm drain on this sand-based field. They also checked in 16 dry balls with the officials. They have more than 200 towels to try to keep the balls dry. We'll see how it affects both offenses today.
All right, Holly, and they're going to line up at the 30-yard line, first down and 10. There's a look at number 7, Willie Simmons, the starting quarterback. Bob spoke about his talents just a few moments ago. 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Quincy, Florida. First and 10, and they spread you out, and they dump it to the back, out of the backfield. That's Yusef Kelly, brought down by Corey Collins, and Rhino also in on the play. Let's take a look at the starting lineup, first of all, for Clemson. They will go with 4 wideouts for most of the day. Curry, Youngblood, Robinson, and Hamilton. A look at your Miller High Life starting lineups. And up front, the offensive line, a bit of a change this week. Tommy Sharp, the walk-on, getting the start at center. Second down, and about 4 to go. Kelly on the handoff, near the 40, and across the 40 for the first down on the first series for Clemson. And let's take a look at the defense, Bob.
Mark, because of Clemson's spread offense, it forces Georgia Tech to play a nickel defense. 4-down lineman, Kieran Cox, goes from his regular position linebacker to the defensive front. Only 2 linebackers, Ricardo Wimbush and Darryl Smith, and you notice 5 defensive backs to match up with the spread offense. Kelly Rhino gets the start today as the nickelback.
This could turn into like basketball with shoulder pads today, huh? First down and 10. First series of the ball game for Clemson, and they hand it off to Derek Hamilton. Hamilton out near another first down into Georgia Tech's side of midfield at the 49-yard line, brought down by Fox, but a pickup of close to 10 yards on the play, and it's all about tempo for Clemson. Nice looking run by Derek Hamilton.
Mark, the chess match begins. If you play nickel, play 5 defensive backs, Clemson's going to find out, can you stop the run?
Second down, they're saying 1 to go. Simmons making the call at the line. Keeps it himself on the quarterback sneak and gets the first down. And Bob, the no-huddle offense does some interesting things for you.
Mark, it's the new wave right now in college football, and it was made famous here at Clemson. The reason they go no-huddle, first of all, is to make the defensive football team align. You cannot disguise because they're up at the line of scrimmage. The second thing, Clemson has enough time at the line of scrimmage to check the play from the press box.
It is first down. They bring in number 8, Ty Hill. Runs it into the boundary. He's brought down after a gain of about 1 on the play. The defense forced to adjust.
Maybe the biggest advantage of the no-huddle, it takes the pressure off the quarterback in making the checks at the line of scrimmage. He gets them from the sidelines. All the quarterback has to do is execute. And probably one thing that's overlooked, the defensive football team cannot huddle. So the defensive coordinator has to signal to all 11 defensive players. The offense may get tendencies on his signal as the game progresses.
Get into a little game of espionage at times. They run the reverse to Hamilton. Into the boundary at the 40-yard line, tackled by Kieran Fox, number 54, the linebacker. A gain of about 7 on the play. There's a look at Brad Scott right at the top of your screen.
Mark, it all starts in the press box with Brad Scott. He calls a play. They come to the line of scrimmage, and then it is communicated to the sidelines to Willie Simmons whether or not you run the play or you abort the play and check to another. And you can see the amount of time they spend at the line of scrimmage. It's not a hurry-up offense.
Really simplifies things for Simmons, who almost had it picked off. Kelly out of the backfield, incomplete, and Kelly Rhino almost had 6 coming back the other way. Makes you wonder with the rain coming down whether it had an effect on this reception.
Well, Hannah right now maybe the 12th man on defense right now. The one thing Tommy Bowden mentioned to us yesterday, Yusef Kelly is a strong, powerful running back, but he does not have the greatest hands. And that was an evidence of it right there.
Win Kopp standing on his own 45-yard line, punting to Kelly Rhino, and a flag down at the line of scrimmage. If it's against Georgia Tech, it would give Clemson a first down.
Offside, on the defense, 5 yards, first down.
One of the advantages of the no-huddle, does it tend to do that for you?
Mark, I don't think right there that is a byproduct of no-huddle. In fact, Georgia Tech was in something you call a safe punt return, expecting a fake. And Tony Hargrave, a converted defensive end playing inside, jumped off and didn't look at the football.
Gives the Tigers a first down and 10, keeping the drive alive. Simmons to Youngblood, who's chopped down right at the line of scrimmage by Marvius Hester. Let's go back to the studio and Steve Levy.
Okay, Mark, thank you very much. Nice and dry and warm and comfortable here in the studio. No need for the extra 200 towels you guys are requiring. Trev Alberts and I are hanging out this afternoon, watching games like Miami and Temple, the Big East opener there, Cal and Michigan State. You can see that over on ESPN2. Arkansas State and Illinois. The Illini off to an 0-2 start, guys.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Steve. We're dry, too, by the way. It's Holly we're worried about. Second down and 11. Kelly running between the tackles that time down to the 33-yard line. Tackled by Darryl Smith, one of the linebackers for the Tech defense. And this is a series, as I mentioned before, that has been extremely competitive. The last 3 games, the average score has been 40-39. In the last 6, the game has been decided by 3 points each.
Mark, I don't know that I've ever heard a statistic like that. 6 straight games decided by 3 points.
And last year it was Georgia Tech snapping Clemson's 4-game winning streak in the series. 3rd down and 7. They go with a 2-back set this time. Line up out of the I, and Simmons signals for a timeout.
Mark, one of the negative things of all the communication involved in the no huddle, you just saw one of those right there. Clemson substituted their personnel on offense. Georgia Tech at the last second substituted their personnel on defense. Eventually the chess game went back and forth, and they ran out of time on the 25-second clock. So sometimes you can get a little too involved and a little too intricate, and at what point do you just snap the ball and execute the play?
Yeah, there are some coaches who prefer that, hey, you just get up to the line of scrimmage and run whatever you have called. Let's look at Tommy Bowden, the head coach of the Clemson Tigers. He says that for this game, you have to double the stock and what you put into it, because even just one loss this early in the conference schedule can really set you back.
Mark, I'd like to go back on a hit on a point you just made that I think is a very valid point. Right now in college football, we notice there's a lot of checks and a lot of communication going on. Yesterday, visiting with Tommy Bowden, he mentioned that his dad, Bobby Bowden, wants to get up there and snap the ball. And both of us, the moment he mentioned that, we thought back to Joe Paterno, our first game of the year, saying the same thing. Get up there, and even if it's not the best play against the exact defense, let your players play.
Kind of a new school versus old school philosophy involved there. 10th play of the drive for Clemson in a driving rainstorm. They've used up a little over 4.5 minutes on the clock. Kelly on the handoff, brought down at about the 31-yard line. Travis Parker, number 94, up front for Georgia Tech, making the stop. Parker, not a guy that gets a lot of pub up front when you're looking and playing in the shadows of both Gathers and Tony Hargrove. But a nice play there. And it'll be 4th down and 6 to go for Clemson.
That's an amazing shot right there. And all the Clemson players looking over at the coach on the sideline, waiting for Brad Scott's communication.
They're going for it on 4th and 6. Got to get to about the 25-yard line. Simmons, complete. His tight end, Williamson, hung on to it after juggling it. The freshman keeps the drive alive with a 1st down catch.
Mark, the forgotten man, the tight end, Bobby Williamson. We didn't even announce his name in the pregame lineup. I don't think Georgia Tech paid a lot of attention to him either. Big 3rd down conversion.
Yeah, Bob, they've got a couple of good ones in Ben Hall and Williamson. 1st down and 10. Those are the ball at the 16-yard line. Simmons hands it off to Kelly. Brought down right near the line of scrimmage. If you're wondering about Yusef Kelly, whether it's any relation to Keith Kelly, he changed his name this year because a friend of his came to visit him on campus, looked him up in the campus phone book, couldn't find him, knew him as Yusef, and he said, hey, if my guys can't find me, I got to do something about it. Subsequently, we have Yusef Kelly. 2nd down and 10. What's in the name anyway? The rain really coming down here at Memorial Stadium. A fumble on the exchange, and Simmons is sacked back at the 20-yard line.
Mark, you notice the unrest with the Clemson crowd right there. Clemson starting a walk-on center, Tommy Sharp. To complicate matters, they had 6 quarterback center exchange problems the first game of the year against Georgia and 2 against Louisiana Tech last week. And I know somewhere our friend Bill Curry is watching this game and just shaking his head.
14th play of the drive. There's a look at Sharp, the walk-on getting the start today. Instead of Chester, who usually gets that spot. Simmons sets up the screen to Kelly. And Kelly slipped at the 18, falls forward to the 16-yard line. And tonight, folks, at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN, number 5, Florida State, speaking of the ACC, led by quarterback Chris Ricks, will take on Maryland. Terrapins are defending conference champs, but they have never beaten the Seminoles. It's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the U.S. Postal Service on ESPN. What about Greg Jones? Man, he is a low, fast and strong for Florida State.
And it was interesting listening to the Florida State players. Even though they beat Maryland last year, they considered a payback game to Maryland because Maryland won the ACC.
Aaron Hunt from 33 yards out. Last week he was 4 of 4, and he drills this one right down Main Street. Clemson out of the gate well in the ACC opener, 3-0 when we come back.
Express pickup. Wow, what a time saver, Ted. I mean, order stuff online, pick it up right away, and you're gone. Honey, you could have waited in the car. It's like we're barely even in the store. Isn't Express pickup great?
No. Save time if you want to. Express pickup. Order online, pick up right away. Or we'll ship to you. Circuit City. We're with you.
Hi, leave mine.
I'll get it.
Oh, here they are.
I see you're checking out our new quad-runner Ozark 250. Yeah, it's Suzuki's latest sport utility ATV. This baby's got it all. More suspension travel than the Yamaha Bear Tracker, more ground clearance than a Honda Recon, bigger engine than Kawasaki Bayou 250. Oh, I can't go wrong with the Ozark 250.
Or how about this? During Quad Fair, qualified buyers can purchase a select Quad Runner ATV and get a finance option of 000 for 6 months or low APR financing, plus a Warren winch for $69.95 or 100 Suzuki bucks for accessories. Hurry, offers end soon.
You put a lot into getting your car. The least you can do is spend a little more to protect it. Don't settle for anything less than Syntec by Castrol. Its patented technology provides ultimate protection for your engine. Syntec by Castrol. It's the most important thing you can do for your car.
On September 3rd, he will face a Walker, a new breed of terror. Wesley Snipes. Not know who you are messing with! Blade 2, a new battle rages on a 2-disc Platinum Series DVD.
Pushing myself to the limit is what this is all about, and I need an antiperspirant that can keep up. Now there's new High Endurance Clear Gel. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. A clear gel that strong? I'm there. New Old Spice High Endurance Clear.
Well, the water pretty much telling the story here. A couple of teams trying to ride the little river of success, hopefully today. Look at the scoring drive by Clemson, using up almost 8 minutes on the clock. But Bob, the one key play, the penalty, right?
Mark, think back. Talk about hidden statistics. Georgia Tech is off the field on 4th and 5, but they jump off sides.
And a short kickoff that's fumbled at the 25. Georgia Tech recovering the loose ball. They will start their offense on the 26-yard line. Starting quarterback is A.J. Suggs, a 6'4", 215-pound junior. Last week went 9 of 14, 136 yards passing against UConn. Got a whistle down on the field. And a Clemson player is shaken up. Let's take a look at the Miller High Live starting lineups. The backs and receivers for Georgia Tech: Hollings, Dixon, Watkins, Glover, and Fasci. The offensive line, an offensive line that has 3 sides. That much depth when you look at the big picture.
Nat Dorsey last year starts as a true freshman. He is a giant. And last year he had a chance to make a name for himself playing against Julius Peppers from North Carolina and did an outstanding job.
Clemson players shaken up on the play. Number 48, Kelvin Morris. Backup strong safety. Bob, what is the rule regarding the dry balls from a coach's standpoint as they just changed the ball.
It's interesting, Mark, and you know one thing, Tommy Bowden being an offensive coach, Shan Gailey being an offensive coach, they're going to have a bunch of dry footballs. You can use as many as you want. You just have to check them in with the official before the game.
First down and 10. Georgia Tech's first offensive series of the night. Suggs airs it out and has his receiver first down at the 42-yard line, number 9, Kerry Watkins, the leading receiver coming into the game. Here's a look at the defensive front for Clemson. A couple of good ends.
Good ends, and Brian McNeil, they're going to line him up as an end and as a linebacker in a multiple defense.
Linebackers Leak, Thomas, and Sampson. Good experience.
Little deceiving. Eric Sampson, number 38, really is like a strong safety. He'll be involved in deep pass coverage.
Advance their best cover corner. Along with Bodrick, Meekins, and Johnson. First down and 10 after that 16-yard pickup. Suggs through the arms of his intended receiver, number 21, Jonathan Smith, the team's leading receiver a season ago.
An interesting statistic. Clemson with the spread offense, you expect a lot of potent passing. Georgia Tech last year led the ACC in pass offense. This is an explosive Georgia Tech offense as well.
Second down and 10. Suggs' numbers on the season so far. Although he hasn't played more than half a game in each of the first 2 contests. Second down and 10. 4 receivers out to the left of Suggs. Incomplete, no flag. It was intended for Glover. Meekins got there and made the hit to break it up. Let's go downstairs to Holly.
Guys, right now we can see the rain affecting the passing game for Georgia Tech. The direction they're going on the field is directly into the driving force of the rain. When you look downfield, it's very difficult to keep your head up and your eyes up because the rain's coming down so hard into the face of the quarterback. When Clemson had the ball, their backs were to the rain, and it was a little bit easier on their passing game.
All right, Holly, so far the good news appears to be that the field seems to be holding up. Third down and 10. Screen pass. Clinkscale, the third down back coming in, making the catch, but stopped far short of the first down. It'll be fourth down. The stop made by Nick Eason, number 98. And that arouses the appreciative fans here at Memorial Stadium. Dan Dyke into punt. Sitting up at his own 30-yard line. Back deep, it's Derek Hamilton, one of the top returners in the nation a season ago. Fourth down and 7. Dyke with a low line drive punt. It won't even make it to the 20-yard line. It'll be down at the 22. Timeout on the field. We'll be back with more right after this.
Never follow.
New 5-star denim from Wrangler. Wrangler, real, comfortable jeans.
It has a sleek all-in-one design like the Apple iMac computer, only it's faster, has more storage capacity, and can run thousands more software programs. Presenting the remarkable new Gateway Profile 4. Oh, and by the way, did we mention the Gateway Profile costs less than the iMac?
Introducing Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
We have come through so much hardship.
The begging begins Tuesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
ESPN's presentation of college football brought to you by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
Clemson with the ball leading 3-0. And Bob, so far, what about the mix of run and pass for Clemson?
It's interesting. Clemson, 9 runs, 5 passes. Georgia Tech, 4 plays, all pass. So there's definitely some different tendencies going on right now. But Georgia Tech in the nickel package, Clemson feels they can run the football a little bit on it.
Hamilton on the handoff, got a seam. Derek Hamilton. Touchdown, Clemson, what a run!
Interesting. Yesterday, Tommy Bowden told us with Woody Dantzler gone, Willie Simmons is not your classic running quarterback. They were going to go ahead and use Hamilton as really the quarterback as the extra ball carrier in the backfield.
Clemson proving that, yes, you can run the football out of the spread. Splash, splash, we go. 10-0 when we come back.
Can't imagine how big that was for Canada to win that gold medal. And we waited a long time, and now after 50 years, that the gold medal's back. So that's
Tell
great.
me something. What kind of cheese you got there?
What kind of cheese?
Yeah, what kind of cheese?
American.
That's right. American cheese.
American
cheese. American cheese.
Your lunch is served at Huddle House. Savor the flavor of one of our 5 Big House sandwich platters, including our grilled chicken club sandwich and tangy Southern-style barbecue. Come try our juicy Big House half-pound hamburger steak platter with crisp cold lettuce and vine-ripened tomatoes. It's awesome. And ooh, those chicken tenders.
So what are you waiting for? It's always good eating time at Huddle House.
America's favorite place for lunch. Huddle House.
We've always gone our own way in the South. How we drive, where we drive, what we drive. The kind of cars, the kind of trucks. Like this Dodge Ram Quad Cab. The only full-size pickup with 4 real doors and a full-size bed. Plus the biggest brakes and wheels in its class. You'll find it down the road a piece at Truckville, your new South Dodge dealer.
Grab Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty, plus a $2,000 cash allowance or 0% financing. Ford, Chevy, and Toyota don't match it.
10-0, the Tigers leading the Yellow Jackets, and Derek Hamilton with a career-long 77-yard run just a few moments ago. Turning point for him last year was that North Carolina game when he didn't have one of his better efforts, and then was able to come back from practice the next week, the subsequent week, and get his career back on track. Another short kickoff that comes down to the 20. That's Kerry Watkins tackled at the 27-yard line. One more look at that touchdown run.
Mark, this is a great picture of the philosophy of the spread offense. Last year, they would use Woody Dantzler, the quarterback, as the ball carrier, with the tailback as the blocker. Willie Simmons is not the runner Willie Dantzler was. So instead, they go ahead and use Derek Hamilton as the ball carrier, the lead blocker, Yusef Kelly, on the linebacker, and you see that Derek Hamilton is healthy. That was a tremendous run, but that was not the predetermined quarterback run. That was the wide receiver replacing Woody Dantzler.
First down and 10. Clemson running the ball well on offense. Defensively stopped them on the last drive, and now a nice run. Hollings on the loose. How's that for an answer? Georgia Tech style.
Mark, is it really raining down there? Is the rain slowing these offenses down?
Maybe it's a mirage. 72 yards to pay dirt.
And I go back to Tony Hollings' comment in pregame when the ESPN camera was on him. He said, they don't respect me because I gained my yards against Vanderbilt in Connecticut. He went 72 yards on his first carry in Death Valley.
Had 4 touchdowns against UConn. If he was looking for a little R-E-S-P-E-C-T, he just got it. A career-long 72-yard gallop by the ACC's leading rusher. It's blocked. The extra point is blocked and snuffed out. Bad snap. And it's no good.
I have to go back on this to one of the phrases we learned early in the year from an assistant coach at Penn State. It's not the X's and O's, it's the Jimmies and Joes. You just see a tremendous effort right here by Tony Hollings, the tailback. He simply just outruns the Clemson defense. A missed tackle right there by their free safety, Eric Meekins, but he shows the breakaway speed he has. Georgia Tech's coaches told us he is sub 4.4 in the 40 mark. He just made me a believer.
Well, Bob, that's faster than gossip right there. Tony Hollings, not a bad running back for an old free safety, backup free safety, and boy, they really snatched back some of the momentum, which seemed to be swinging big time in favor of Clemson. As I mentioned, 4 touchdown runs last week against UConn, adding to his total just a few moments ago.
And you know, you would think that Georgia Tech's coaches would like to take credit for a great strategic move of moving Tony Hollings from defensive back to running back. But in reality, Tony Hollings went in, and it was his idea. And they weren't sure it was going to work. They were skeptical of it. So Tony Hollings, not only a great player, he had the foresight to say, hey, give me the football.
There's a look at the first-year head coach. Chan Gailey named the 11th head coach in the school's history, December 29th of 2001. A coach that is known for his offensive prowess. Former head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, now at the helm with Georgia Tech. A squib kick that comes to Hamilton at the 4. Hamilton brought down at the 22. Hey, Steve Levy, we got a lot going on here.
And, Mark, a lot going on elsewhere. Miami missed a field goal early, then had a 7-0 lead. Temple fumbled the kickoff. Miami gets it back. Ken Dorsey to Kevin Beard for the touchdown. It's now 14-zip in favor of the Hurricanes. Elsewhere, Cal is on the board in East Lansing. Jameel Powell, a 90-yard punt return. Big day in the Big Ten. Not so far for Michigan State. Back to Mark and Bob.
It is a huge day for the Big Ten. Michigan, Penn State, also with key games today. First down and 10. Ball at the 21-yard line. They run it to Ty Hill. Gains a couple of yards. Let's go downstairs to, I hope Holly's dry down there. Holly?
Not dry, but I've got some good information for you. Chan Gailey from Georgia Tech had just arrived, just gotten the job at Georgia Tech. When Tony Hollings asked to set up a meeting on offense, he didn't even see any video of the kid. He didn't know if he could play or not, but he said, I just had faith that if it was his idea, he would give it his all. He certainly has so far today.
He sure has, and you have to look highly upon Gailey. Incomplete pass at the 20-yard line. You have to like the philosophy of Gailey, who's willing to make the change.
I do. Showing that picture of Chan Gailey on the sidelines, though, I know exactly what he's thinking. He's thinking right now, you know, it's early in the game, that missed extra point opportunity. Because how many times in this profession do those things come back and bite you?
At 3rd down and 9. Hill, the lone back. Right beside Willie Simmons. 4 receivers out on the play. Simmons flushed out. First down complete to number 83, Tony Elliott at the 43-yard line. Simmons able to move out of the pocket and make a play, Bob.
Willie Simmons just answered some questions. Can he throw on the run when he gets out of the pocket? He struggled against Georgia in the opening game, threw an interception on the run, threw some bad balls on the run. It looks like he's improved in that area of the game. That was a big completion on the run for Willie Simmons.
Sets up a first down and 10 at the 43. Simmons sat in the pocket and fired incomplete at the 47, intended for Jackie Robinson.
This gives you an idea of the troubles Willie Simmons had. Georgia actually invited him to take off and run with the football. Here you see an interception in the end zone, and you're going to see two other opportunities where he had a chance to make a play on the run, but he didn't.
One thing about Simmons so far in this early part of the season, he has really embraced the challenge of being in the spotlight as a starting quarterback. He says, frankly, quote, "That's why I play the position." Hands it off this time. Out to the 48-yard line is Ty Hill. You hear the music. It only means one thing. Sunday night football. Oakland against Pittsburgh. 7:30 Eastern time. Starts with NFL Prime Time, presented by Miller Lite at 7:30. And man, you think back through the years of the great matchups and great games between those two franchises.
Franco Harris, the immaculate reception.
Amongst others. Simmons complete to Jackie Robinson, who came back to the ball nicely at the 40-yard line. A 12-yard pickup.
Willie Simmons once again 2 for 2 on the run. One of the most difficult things for a secondary is to maintain coverage when the quarterback is about to break contain and run with the football. It's almost impossible. So give credit to Willie Simmons improving his game. A mobile quarterback that can throw is very difficult to defend.
So many dimensions. First down and 10. Hill stopped up behind the line of scrimmage at the 41 by number 41, Kelly Rhino and Ricardo Wimbush. Number 41, a guy to watch. He is, well, a real-life Rudy in many sorts at 5'7".
He's something. All-time Georgia Tech leading punt returner. He is the nickelback. He doesn't look like your typical nickelback that you bring in pass defense, but the Georgia Tech coaches can't keep him off the field.
A treat on special teams, too. Here's Simmons rolling out. Tiptoes out of bounds at the 38-yard line. It'll be third down and long to go for Clemson. Their drives so far have been very time-consuming. Used up almost 8 minutes on the clock on their first scoring drive, a field goal.
Once again, a misconception of the spread no-huddle offense, that it's a hurry-up, catch-up, 2-minute offense. It's not. It's actually a ball control style because they take the clock down to 1 second left on a 25-second clock before they snap the football. Here's a good picture of it right here.
Well, you mentioned ball control. This is the 9th play of the Clemson drive. Ball at the 39. A blitz coming. Picked up but dropped by Ty Hill out of the backfield.
Bernard Lambert, their starting tailback, has been out. Yusef Kelly and Ty Hill both struggle as young running backs with catching the football. That takes away a dimension of Tommy Bowden's offense right now. That's the second drop today by a running back.
Yeah, Rembert has a little tendinitis in his foot. We're hoping to have him back soon. There's a look at Rhino, back standing on his own 10-yard line. Win Kopp, the 5'9" senior, punting from midfield. The lefty hangs it up high. Trying to place it inside the 10, and it does, but it bounces into the end zone. Let's go back to Steve Levy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Northern Illinois more than just hanging around this afternoon early at Camp Randall. Already with a 3-0 lead. Here's Travis Moore bringing Brooks Bollinger down to the turf. Again, 3-0 Wisconsin trailing in the first quarter. Also, John Butcher, the new starting quarterback for Illinois, has a touchdown pass to Walter Young, guys.
All right, 2:36 left, and look at the difference, Bob, in time of possession.
Mark, not to beat a dead horse, but think back to 4th and 4 on the punt situation when Georgia Tech jumped off sides. Plus, it's deceiving. Tony Hollings went over 70 yards his first carry for a touchdown. They scored too quick.
First down and 10. Is there really such a thing? That's lining up out of the eye. Draw play to Hollings. Hollings brought down at the 18-yard line by Donnell Washington. 2 years ago, another close battle between these two teams. This was the game-winning play. Watkins with a one-handed, left-handed grab. Look at that. A magical catch, and Tech won the game 31-28. Something that's still stuck in the craw of many Clemson players. Watson, the second leading receiver in school history, behind only Kelly Campbell. 2nd and 10. Suggs on the move. Pushed out of bounds at the 22 by Nick Eason.
Bit interesting. Defensive coordinators, different philosophies. You notice there, Georgia Tech in a spread offense with 4 wide receivers, very similar to Clemson. But Clemson's defensive coordinator, John Lovett, chooses to play his regular defense. He doesn't play a nickel package. He doesn't play a dime package. He wants his best players on the field. He does not want a substitute. He has done an excellent job since coming to Clemson from Auburn.
3rd down and 8. Empty formation, 5 receivers out on the play. Suggs got it off as he was brought down. But that swarming Clemson defense tackles Clinksdale. And it'll be 4th down and long. The defense rising to the occasion.
You're going to see a great job right here of maximum coverage by Clemson. You don't see the picture, but they only rush 3 people. That is what you call a coverage sack. There was nowhere for A.J. Suggs to throw the football.
Boy, Nick Eason has been real busy so far, hasn't he? There's a look at Hamilton. Derek Hamilton. High snap. But brought down by Dyke, and he gets off a pretty good kick. Hamilton fumbles it and recovered it at the 35-yard line. Boy, Steve Levy, it's adventurous today in the rain. Back to you.
Mark, we're checking in on Cal and Michigan State. Cal already had a 7-0 lead, but here come the Spartans. Jeff Smoker, the Charles Rogers, nice grab. He's down at the 1. Really needed that extra yard. They had 1st and goal at the 1. 2 plays later, DeJuan Moss fumbled the pitch, turning it over.
Those ones really sting. Back here, 1st down and 10.
You think Charles Rogers is the best receiver in the country?
I would say so. I would say so. Great combination with him and Smoker. And Simmons hooking up with Big Ben Hall, the tight end, the talented sophomore. You know what? We want to send a quick hello to the men and women of the 1st Battalion, 228th Aviation Regiment, stationed out of Soto Cano Air Base in Honduras. They're watching us right now on the American Forces Network, and we appreciate everything that they do. Fellows and ladies, thank you for protecting our interests, both at home and abroad. 2nd down and 2. 2 tight ends, 2 wideouts, a single back set. And Ty Hill puts it on the ground. It's a fumble. And Georgia Tech has got the ball. We have seen several fumbles already today. Marvius Hester, number 28, right there, 29, made the hit.
Well, once again, young running backs getting their opportunity to play. They have to protect the football. That fumble right there wasn't caused by Hannah. That one was caused by Ricardo Winbush. Georgia Tech does a great job of scrambling in there and recovering that fumble. Number 29, Marvius Hester. There were no excuses on that one. He just did not protect that football.
1st down and 10. See if the Yellow Jackets can respond and take advantage of the opportunity. Hollings cutting back nicely down to the 45-yard line. Brought down by Eric Meekins, the free safety. This Clemson defense leading the ACC in rush defense so far this season. Well, the first 15 minutes in the rain are in the books. We'll be back with the 2nd period right after this.
Watch Monday Night Countdown, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN, delivered by UPS.
Forget all the rules. See what no one has seen. Do what hasn't been done. Look everywhere. Never do the expected.
never follow.
Rockstar Billy Gibbons, world-class car collector. He knows different players perform differently, like different engines. That's why he uses new fine-tuned Quaker State higher mileage engine. It can help improve performance in older engines by restoring power.
Sure could use help changing my oil.
Ah, for the life of a rock star. For performance you can count on Quaker State. Stay tuned.
Get free roadside assistance when you buy a case of Quaker State higher mileage engine.
Before you die, you see the ring. See the ring. You see the ring.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, October 18th.
Mo, let's install Pep Boys Futura tires on every truck on the road.
That's a lot of truck tires, Manny.
Let's roll out Futura Scrambler truck and SUV tires starting at just $49.99 each.
Whoa, at $49.99 each, everyone will have Futura Scramblers.
Pep Boys, we're car people.
Neat, you can dunk, but you can't dip.
Your dip is gone, baby.
What are you talking about? No dip.
Introducing Tostitos Scoops.
Let me tell you something, Bill. I put the hip in chip. Watch this.
With the bite-sized, bowl-shaped design for the perfect dip every time. Tostitos Scoops. Whoa. The dip lover's chip.
This is my house.
Yes, it is.
No, this is my house. You guys got to go.
Also great with Queso Supreme Dip.
See you later, Ma.
Jason,
Yeah.
who else is going with you?
Anna and Kyle.
And you left the phone number?
Yes.
Be back before 11.
Let your kids be who they are, but know what they're doing.
Clemson with a 4-point lead as we get start to begin the second period of play here at Memorial Stadium, a.k.a. Death Valley. Clemson, South Carolina. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe down on the sidelines. Suggs back to pass, going up top. And it's incomplete. Intended for number 3, Will Glover. Good coverage by Brian Mance.
Brian Mance is their best coverage corner. Also a great punt returner. So he's an exciting football player.
Clemson defense, as I mentioned a few moments ago, tops in the nation in run defense. 3rd down and 4 now for Georgia Tech. Ball to 45. Another empty formation. 5 receivers, 3 to the bottom, 2 to the top of your screen. Suggs off the hands of his usually sure-handed receiver, Glover. And it'll be 4th down. Bob, are you surprised that Georgia Tech earlier didn't give you a steady diet of Hollings, and more Hollings?
Mark, I am, because first of all, the weather conditions. Second of all, establishing a run against the Clemson defense that really has played 2 passing teams in Georgia and Louisiana Tech. But I think you're going to see a steady dose of 24 here before long.
And Georgia Tech really hasn't shown its cards in the 2 games so far. Bounces it at 12 and a nice punt. And poor special teams work on that 45-yard punt. Dyke can't believe it. Albert Pouree, number 1, should have known where the goal line was and down it before it entered the goal line.
Mark, that's a major mistake right there. You have a defensive cornerback who's on the punt team that did not have awareness of where the goal line was. He actually stepped into the end zone, so it was obvious that he was a little bit disoriented on the field.
It's not every day that a punter like Dyke gets to really place one down by the goal line like that either.
And all punters and kickers are worried about those stats. So that hurts his stats on down it inside the 10.
Kills the average sum. Simmons at the helm, 7 of 11 passing for 63 yards. And now late substitution, Ty Hill coming on. And they are forced to call a timeout. Let's take a look at our ESPN game track. So far, the game characterized by a few fumbles and maybe some result of the weather, maybe not. 13 points, though, in 13 seconds. The first one coming on this 77-yard scamper by Derek Hamilton. But just a few moments later, Tony Hollings using that 4.3 speed, giving Clemson an education and acceleration, pulling away from the pack. And taking off into the end zone.
I think you see a combination of bad weather, but also great athletes. There's been some mistakes, there's been some fumbles, some drop passes, but there's also been some big home runs and big explosions in this football game. But once again, and this is not just coach speak, this is how coaches think. Think back to the offsides by Georgia Tech on 4th down, allowed Clemson to score, and don't forget the missed extra point opportunity by Georgia Tech.
In the big picture, Bob, a lot of exciting things happening for Clemson as well as for Georgia Tech. They've had a run of success recently, and back in Atlanta, Bobby Dobbs Stadium being expanded. Capacity right now is a little over 43,000, and pretty soon it's going to be up to 55,000. They're using a $70 million budget to expand that facility. Really doing a good job there.
5 straight bowl games, Georgia Tech, and give George O'Leary a lot of credit. I was with their athletic director this morning, Dave Brain. George O'Leary deserves and gets a lot of the credit for that program being as strong as it is right now.
Well said. Up top, incomplete. McKelvey couldn't come down with it, and he was being blanketed there on the cover by Jonathan Cox.
We talked about in the early part of the game the height of Clemson receivers. Here is J.J. McKelvey at 6'4", going up against Jonathan Cox at 5'11". 6'4", 6'4" will beat a 5'11" guy anytime. That's simple. That time he didn't go up and make the play. Give Jonathan Cox credit for going up and getting his hands on that football.
Sets up a 2nd down and 10. Little screen pass from right back to McKelvey. He made the catch this time out near the 30-yard line.
What I like right here is the play calling by Brad Scott and Tommy Bowden. J.J. McKelvey just had an opportunity to make a catch. He didn't, but you come right back to him and you get him some confidence. Clemson loves those little short flanker screens into the boundary.
They love those big receivers, as you mentioned. 6'4", 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5" Youngblood. 3rd down and 2. They're 2 of 6 in 3rd down situations today. Kelly got the 1st down, muscling his way over the 30-yard line. Yusef Kelly. You can hear the fans with an appreciative chant of "you." 1st down and 10 now for Clemson. Here on Hall of Fame weekend at Clemson University, a special time here for the athletic alumni.
Mark, you see something developing as Clemson substitutes and brings in tight ends. Georgia Tech is substituting from the sidelines. Watch as this game progresses. Clemson make quick snap and catch them with too many men on the field.
Here's Kelly, got a bigger seam this time, and another 1st down. Or close to a 1st down at the 42. Myers making the stop.
Yusef Kelly again on the simple zone play. Breaks it out to the outside. Jeremy Myers has to come up from the secondary. Really makes a nice tackle, but you don't want your safety coming up when you're only playing a 7-man front, making those kind of stops for a 10-yard gain.
Yeah, interesting that offensive line as well for Clemson. Getting a little bigger and more athletic than it was a year ago at this time. 1st down and 10. Kelly stopped up at the 45-yard line. Good surge up front, led by Fox. Let's go downstairs to Holly.
Guys, in case you were wondering, it is still continuing to rain down here on the sideline. All the new technology in football with equipment and sideline equipment, the bag that they were using to keep the balls dry was not waterproof, and so we've gone to the old-fashioned black garbage sack to keep the balls dry here at Clemson.
Got to get one of those hefty garbage bags.
Tommy Bowden will get that straight because he wants those dry footballs.
You got to find a little bit of money in the budget for that, you would think. 2nd down and 8. Simmons. Well, they didn't draw it up that way, but Kelly made the reception. It was stopped up at the 46-yard line. Let's go to Steve Levy for an SEC update.
Mark, thank you. Vandy and Auburn. Carlos Dansby causes the turnover, hitting Jay Cutler. Not only that, he recovers in the end zone for the touchdown. Auburn the 7-0 lead, and Miami no problem in the first half.
Right, and of course, Georgia Tech defeated Vandy in their first game of the season. 3rd down and 7 for Simmons in the offense. Open over the middle. Ben Hall, the big tight end, stopped up just apparently shy of the first down marker. In his first year, Hall set a school freshman record for touchdown receptions. There's a look at him, number 87.
They are really high on Ben Hall. The only problem, he had some busted assignments against Louisiana Tech, and that's why I think you see Bobby Williamson, number 81, getting some playing time.
They got good depth at that position, Bob. 4th down. And 1 to go. Today, Clemson is 1 for 1 in 4th down situations. And we have a timeout on the field. Time to think about it. We'll be back in a minute.
What's this?
It's a credit card.
Okay. Not scary.
You have to open it up.
Introducing Discover to Go.
That's a crazy-looking credit card.
Wow, look at that.
A great new way to carry your Discover card.
Wipe it through there and there we've got it. There's a place for my keys.
I love it.
It's new. I figured that one out, Frank. Very futuristic. Same account numbers, same cashback bonus program, but not like any credit card you've seen before.
You've got mail.
Know what you call someone who pays double for internet access? An AOL user.
You've got a choice.
There's only one internet. Why pay double to get it? NetZero gives you the internet for less than half the price of AOL. Only $9.95 a month. And you can download NetZero in just 2 minutes. NetZero. Get the access without the excess. Call 877 only $9.95 or visit netzero.com.
The wind howls because it can't keep up. The Audi A4 with Quattro all-wheel drive.
Howie, have a seat. Listen.
It's just like a movie theater.
Come to Radio Shack now during the Hollywood in Your Home sale and get an RCA home theater in a box with DVD player for just $299.99. And a 2-room RCA DirecTV system is just $29.99 after a $70 Radio Shack mail-in rebate.
There's just one thing that's missing. A cup holder.
Radio Shack. You've got questions, we've got answers.
Welcome back, everyone, to Clemson's Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. Georgia Tech against the Tigers. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe. 4th down and short. A look at the total yardage discrepancy. Clemson winning the battle right there by over 100 yards, but just got 4 on the scoreboard. Win Kopp into punt, standing at his own 40. Kelly Rhino standing on his 15. Flag down, Rhino down at the 21-yard line. Apparently a violation of that halo around the punt returner. A 33-yard boot by Win Kopp.
The halo rule this year, Mark, a 10-yard penalty instead of a 5-yard penalty.
Boy, that's close.
This really puts you at a disadvantage, particularly against a returner like Kelly Rhino, who is fearless back there and never fair catches. I don't like that rule. I think it puts the defensive team, particularly those gunners running down, at such a disadvantage. I'd like to see him go back to the old rule where you put all the onus on the returner. He either fair catches it. If he doesn't fair catch it, anything goes, and let him make the decision. There's too much pressure on these officials to make that call.
Right. 1st down and 10. Backs lining up out of the offset eye. Hollings breaking it to the perimeter, and a nice tackle on the corner by Brian Mance. Boy, did he come up and stick Hollings.
I think you see again the speed of Tony Hollings. It's obvious he is going to take the football outside if you give him the opportunity. It was interesting talking to the Tex coaches. He made them a big fan in the spring. They scrimmaged in the Georgia Dome. He took one about 60 yards against their defense. And they said from that point on, they knew they had a speed demon back there at tailback.
He was a man, 2nd down and 6. There he is again, Hollings powering between the tackles over the right side of the offensive line. And let's go back to Steve Levy. Steve?
Okay, Mark, thank you. Cal and Michigan State, Spartans' 2nd time already today. They've turned it over inside the red zone. Jeff Smoker is picked at the 1 by James Bethea. And Cal still leading 7-0.
Bob, is there anything worse for a coach?
Particularly with an experienced quarterback like Jeff Smoker. He normally does not make those kind of mistakes.
Georgia Tech is 0 for 3 on 3rd down situations today. Watkins in motion. Little counter. And Hollings right at the 1st down marker at the 36-yard line. Hollings has come a long way as a running back. Harken back to 3 weeks ago against Vandy. He said he was so uptight before the Vanderbilt game that he didn't get to sleep until 5:30 a.m. in the morning.
The thing that's so impressive, he is 220 pounds with that kind of sub 4.4 speed. That's a unique package right there. That kind of speed and that kind of strength.
And reflective, as you mentioned, of the recruiting they've been doing and the type of talent they've been getting in Atlanta, Georgia Tech over the last few years. 1st down as Hollings got the job done. Always look at Chan Gailey. His appeal as a recruiter, he's a real kind of aw shucks type of guy, very fatherly, avuncular, and he can get people to Atlanta. Real offensive innovator as a head coach. 1st down and 10. Hollings diving forward to the 39-yard line. Got about 4 on the play. Tonight at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN. Number 5, Florida State, led by quarterback Chris Ricks and Greg Jones, taking on the Terps, who have never beaten Florida State. It's college football Saturday night, presented by the U.S. Postal Service on ESPN. And there's a look at Florida State. Man, they've still dominated that conference.
That was a great picture yesterday in Tommy Bowden's office of all the Bowdens, all the brothers, all the in-laws.
Good-looking family. 2nd down and 7. Incomplete and almost picked off. Intended for Watkins. Went right through his arms. He has 18 career touchdown catches, but missed this one. And it is 3rd down and 7. They come with an empty formation, 5 receivers.
Trying to make Clemson's linebackers have to play pass coverage.
Suggs found his man in the seam. A well-thrown ball went right back to Watkins, undaunted. And a 1st down for Georgia Tech. A pickup of 16.
Anytime you decide to play zone coverage, there is going to be seams in the middle of that defense. There you see Kerry Watkins down the seam. The linebacker didn't carry him into 2-deep coverage. And once again, come back to Kerry Watkins after a drop. You have to get him going. You have to get his confidence back. Great play call right there by Bill O'Brien.
The senior, a real big game performer for Georgia Tech. Just ask Clemson. They know. Jonathan Smith in motion. Hollings, good balance, falling forward to the 39-yard line. Hollings, 8 rushes today, well over 90 yards now.
Once again, you see the strength of Tony Hollings. But that really is a remarkable story, isn't it, Mark? Of being a defensive back, going to the head coach and asking if you could move the running back in the spring, and then jumping up and being one of the surprise stories in college football this year.
Come a long way since getting hit in the mouth in Pop Warner football and wanting to quit as a 5-year-old.
One thing, you're not going to get him to move back to defense. He's having too much fun and getting too much publicity right now.
No doubt. Here he is again. Into the boundary, turns the corner, but just tripped up at the 35, and he had a whole bunch of real estate ahead of him. He smelled that end zone, Bob.
You're going to see an excellent run by Tony Hollings, but also Jonathan Smith coming in and getting just enough of a block on the true freshman corner from Clemson. And once again, Tony Hollings almost takes that thing to the house. But give credit to Jonathan Smith coming in and getting a block on Miller, the freshman corner from Clemson.
First down and 10.
We talked earlier, would they give you a steady dose of Tony Hollings? I think we're seeing that now, Mark.
Yeah, force feeding Clemson. Suggs under pressure, threw it away. And a flag down on the play. It's all about being inside that tackle box.
Intentional grounding on the offense. That's a loss of down. Spot of the foul. Second down.
Well, he threw it away a little too eagerly that time. You know, Chan Gailey's quarterback, though, has surprisingly good mobility, something we've seen so far, except on that last play we didn't.
And you talk about paying your dues. We talked about Willie Simmons sitting behind Woodrow Dantzler. How about A.J. Suggs going to Tennessee, playing for Tennessee, throwing for over 300 yards against LSU, then transferring and sitting out last year. He's paid his dues as well, and both of them are taking advantage of the opportunities they now have to be the starting quarterback.
I'm going to ask you about transfers in just a moment after this play. Second down and 27 now for Georgia Tech. Complete. Out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Complete to Fauci. Let's go to Steve Levy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Arkansas State and Illinois. Mike Alexander is back in punt formation at his goal line. Franklin Payne comes right through to make the block. The redshirt freshman Kendrick Jones recovers for the touch.
Tough act to follow for Illinois this year. It's back here, 6:56 to go in the first half. Ball at the 41. Third and long. The 11th play of the Georgia Tech drive. Suggs almost picked off by cornerback Justin Miller, number 9. The freshman seemingly everywhere on the field in this last couple of plays. Miller actually had a reception and an interception against Louisiana Tech. The first time that's happened since 1964. They're high on that true freshman. 4th and 19. And into punt comes Dan Dyke. Man's back deep on his own 10. This is the 4th punt of the day now for Dyke. Mans calls for the fair catch at the 10. And a late flag. He took a hit. Second time today that we're going to see this same infraction called after that 31-yard punt.
Personal foul on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Tacks on 15 more yards. Mance did his part, but sometimes you just don't get the brakes put on in time. We'll be right back.
You are privy to a great becoming.
These attacks were highly organized. The victims carefully chosen.
Ride with me. On October 4th.
There will be more of them, of course. Victims.
Experience the first and most terrifying chapter in the Hannibal Lecter trilogy.
Why did you put mirrors in their eyes?
He is evolving.
Open your eyes and look at me. I am the dragon. Before me, you tremble.
Red Dragon, rated R. At theaters October 4th.
As your family grows, so do their needs. Is your life insurance coverage keeping up? To help you be absolutely sure, talk to someone who's seen a few changes themselves.
We live where you live.
For life insurance, call your State Farm agent.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You rely only on family. You trust only blood. She loves me. I know that.
You don't care about our future, Tony.
I provide for my children. You equate love with money.
She came on to me.
Like you could talk honestly for 3 seconds.
You tried me. Somebody in my family is talking out of school. I might try for my life.
Everything comes to an end. You have nothing to feel guilty about.
Get more than 100 additional games with the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. It's Maximum College Football. To order, call your local cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
ESPN's presentation of college football, brought to you by NetZero. Get the access without the excess. Go to netzero.com today. And by Audi. In technology, performance, and design, our goal remains constant. Never follow.
Back at Clemson's Memorial Stadium, Mark Jones along with Bob Davey, Holly Rowe, 10-6, and first down and 10. Willie Simmons fires complete to Hamilton. He's already made one big play, trying to make another out to the 35. One more look at that penalty against Georgia Tech on the punt. And a flag down on this play after Clemson benefited from a 15-yard penalty on the punt a few moments ago. Boy, every time Derek Hamilton touches the ball, there's a buzz in the stands.
Block in the back, above the waist, on the offense, 10 yards, spot of the foul, repeat first down.
Mark, going back to the personal foul on the previous punt, I think this is an awful call. You're going to see Charles Bennett, number 86, right here, blocking Will Heller, number 84, into the returner, Brian Mance. And even if he didn't knock him in, to call that a 15-yard personal foul, I don't think you could have killed a mosquito with that hit right there by Will Heller. So either way, I do not like that call.
Yeah. Barely a glancing blow. This is Hamilton into the boundary. I'd like to use him as a runner out to the 23-yard line. As we approach 6 minutes to play here, remaining in the first half. Conference opener for both Georgia Tech and Clemson. Coming up on the Nivea for Men halftime report, Steve Levy and Trev Alberts in the studio. Michigan State looking for a little respect. The game day gang is in Columbus, Ohio, for that huge Ohio State-Washington State game.
We didn't jinx Michigan State with that respect thing right there, did we? They better quit turning that ball over in the red zone.
Hope not. 2nd and 13. Simmons on the move to Hamilton. Boy, he is so elusive out to the 43-yard line and a first down.
Another picture of Willie Simmons on the run. Anytime you have to defend a mobile quarterback, they come with the play action right here. Off the zone fake, Willie Simmons on the run, no contain. He right now is in a pass run situation. Derek Hamilton does a great job of sitting down in the zone. Georgia Tech is going to have to contain Willie Simmons. He has solved this problem from early in the season, throwing on the run.
Clemson going with 2 tights, 2 wideouts, and a single back. That's Yusuf Kelly and a flag down on the play. Tackle made by Darryl Smith. Little linebacker, number 51. Kelly took a hit.
Personal foul on the defense, 15 yards from the end of the run. First down.
Boy, that's 33 yards already for Clemson on this drive.
What's obvious, you can read Shan Gady's lips. He said, I've got it. I'm going to take care of it. It was number 44. And you notice number 44, Tony Hargrave, on the sidelines over there next to Shan Gailey.
Hargrave learning under the tutelage of Greg Gathers, the senior. He's kind of taken Hargrave under his wing a little bit. Certainly didn't teach him that move. First down and 10. Simmons on the roll. And got stuck at the 34-yard line by De'Aaron Fox. Fox, the certified AKA wild man on that defense, but didn't expect to see Simmons move around like he has been today, Bob Davie.
I didn't either, Mark, but I think that really adds an element to Clemson's offense. And there you see the graphic throwing out of the pocket. But De'Aaron Fox is trying to talk him out of that with that big hit he just had right there in front of Clemson's bench.
Second down and 6. Little bubble screen, incomplete to Jackie Robinson. You know what, Bob? I read your ESPN.com article, Football 101. I saw the zone blitz scheme you had diagrammed on there this week's lesson. Have you done the bubble screen yet? Have you done
That's a good idea.
I want to see that.
That's a good idea, and I'm really glad someone's reading that .com.
I hit it about 3 times for you, man.
I think you may be the only hit I had on it today. I'm going to have to go back and check.
Bob Davie taking everybody to school on that website, ESPN.com, the Football 101. About 48 different variations of the zone blitz.
Some of those Notre Dame fans saying, I'm not sure that stuff really works.
Third down and 6. Kelly trying to get to the edge and chopped down at the 33-yard line, about 5 yards short of the first down. Under 4 minutes to play now in the first half. Corey Collins making the stop, the strong safety for Georgia Tech. Kelly redshirted last year, formerly Keith Kelly. It is 4th down for Clemson from the 33-yard line, and in to attempt the field goal is Aaron Hunt. Jeff Scott, Brad Scott's son, and a former quarterback, is the holder. And this one comes up a little bit short. Now 5 of 7 on the year. So Georgia Tech will have the ball. When we come back, yes, it is a game of inches.
Task number 12. Shag fly balls at any Major League Baseball batting practice.
So it's not possible at all? I see them come by, they just bang it on the fly.
Very shagadelic, baby.
Every second counts.
I have no money. This is a whole new way to travel.
Introducing Beg, Borrow, and Deal, the new reality game show from ESPN.
You're homeless. Every 5 minutes, you have to start over and say, now what do I do?
All you do is cry. I cannot believe this.
The begging begins Tuesday, 8 p.m. on ESPN.
When you think of Callaway, you think of acres of beautiful gardens and a commitment to the environment. But there's also America's largest butterfly center, Sibley Center, classes for kids, classes for big kids, educational birds of prey show, harvest festival, biking, hiking, PGA golf tournament, dining, cottages, villas, and all just an hour southwest of Atlanta. Ah, now doesn't that sound relaxing? Come for the day or stay the night. Packages from just $99. For reservations, call 1-800-CALLAWAY today. Callaway, where fun comes naturally.
Nothing cliche about the nice cars at Nice Cars. You see, before a car comes onto our lot, we go over it with a fine-tooth comb. This ensures that you are choosing your nice car from the cream of the crop. Unlike our competitors who scrape the bottom of the barrel for their vehicles, fortunately, with 7 lots full of cars, trucks, vans, and SUVs to choose from, you can take your pick of the litter. And the fact that our down payments and weekly payments are so low is just icing on the cake. What a sweet deal.
A panoramic view here of Clemson, South Carolina. A look at the watchtower, 10-6 here on the banks of the Seneca River in Clemson, South Carolina. Nice to see that the rain has held up just a little bit here, but the sky is still rather ominous. They're expecting heavy storms at about 7:30, 8 o'clock, just after our flights take off. Hopefully.
I'll tell you one thing, Kmart and Target, they sold them some orange ponchos this morning. I promise you that. There are no orange ponchos left in Clemson, South Carolina.
They're making some bucks. First down and 10 for Georgia Tech. Suggs standing in the pocket, fires incomplete. Let's go back to the studio with Steve Levy.
Mark, thank you. We showed you earlier Michigan State really struggling near Cal's goal line. How about around their own goal line? Smoker's back to pass. Watch, the flag flies as he releases the ball. Holding is called on William Whitaker. Holding in the end zone. It's a safety, and Wisconsin's finally taking the lead.
All right, Steven, back here. Second down and 10. Suggs, 5 for 12, total of 44 yards. Looking into the eyes of Brian McNeil on the defense. Suggs on the move, brought down by shoestrings at the 35-yard line by McNeil. Now, Bob, let's talk about Suggs. Tennessee transfer, played a little bit of time there. You've coached transfers before. What goes into the mind of transfers when they come to the new school? Do you sense a little more urgency for them to play well?
No question. Transfers want immediate gratification, and they really should, because the clock's been ticking on them. What I'm impressed with is a guy like Willie Simmons, who stays at Clemson, waits his dues, and then plays as a fourth-year junior.
And he waited about 2.5 years before finally becoming the man. Right now, it's his counterpart on offense. Suggs on 3rd and 7, sacked back at the 31-yard line by a host of tacklers led by Bryant McNeil. That's the third 3 and out.
You're going to see John Lever, the defensive coordinator, again, decides to play maximum coverage, 4-man rush. Bryant McNeil, 91, who they think the upside is tremendous, sacks the quarterback. You know, Bryant McNeil had a huge fumble return for a touchdown in the Georgia game. Actually runs a 4.65 40 at 6'5", 240 pounds.
Scary. Van Dyke punting. Hamilton back to the 16. Hamilton still on his feet. One man to beat. Hamilton swerving. Tackled in the 6.
You're going to see missed tackles. Number 1, Albert Pourley. Another mistake in the kicking game. That could have been a no-game play for Clemson. But give Derrick and Hamilton credit. He made them miss. He shows his speed down the sidelines. He's probably getting a little bit tired. 79 yards on that punt return.
In addition to that 77-yard touchdown run earlier. First down and goal for the Tigers. Special teams, the bane of Georgia Tech so far in this game. Had a miscue on a punt a couple series ago, and now this, first and goal for Clemson. Backs out of the eye. Simmons wisely throws that one away. Nobody open. The second down and goal.
It's amazing how you set the storyline for this game, being Georgia Tech's nickel defense against Clemson's spread offense. But what jumps up and gets you if you're Georgia Tech is the kicking game. The things that maybe you took for granted going in.
Got a fumble on an extra point. That's why it's 10-6 and not 10-7. Second down and goal. Simmons through the hands of Youngblood. It'll be third down and goal. A little bit too high even for a tall target at 6'5".
And Clemson had the matchup they wanted. Jeremy Myers down inside the red zone, locked up on Kevin Youngblood. The ball, as you mentioned, Mark, was simply overthrown.
Third down now. Goal to go.
You have to think that Clemson is going to move Willie Simmons again out of this pocket right here.
That's Robinson in motion. Simmons going to try and score. And he's stopped at about the 2-yard line. So after 3 tries right in the shadows of the goalposts, the Yellow Jacket defense holds.
One of the problems with the spread offense, though, inside the red zone, it's difficult to all of a sudden put two backs back there and run the football. You see Clemson right there with really 3 straight passing attempts inside the red zone.
4th and goal when we come back.
There are at least 100 things you'd rather do than deal with the stress of filling out an application and qualifying for a home loan. But if you want the benefits of refinancing, it seems you have no choice.
I can't make it tonight. I want to get this loan application finished.
At AmeriQuest Mortgage, we give you a choice and a much easier way to get a loan. You see, at AmeriQuest, you work with one local loan advisor, someone who takes the time to explain things and actually does the paperwork for you. Someone who treats you like more than a credit score. Someone like me. With 2 decades of experience and over 200 branches nationwide, AmeriQuest knows how to offer you the no-stress home loan. The time is right, so call AmeriQuest now at 1-800-297-8578 or go to urmore.com. That's 1-800-297-8578. Call AmeriQuest, the company that knows you are more.
How many ways can you get on a new Suzuki ATV? During Quad Fair, plenty. Qualified buyers can purchase a new Suzuki Quad Runner and get 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest until April 2003, or low APR financing. Plus, choose a Warn winch for only $69.95 or 100 Suzuki bucks good for accessories. Come in and enter the Quad Fair sweepstakes for a chance to win a Suzuki SUV or ATV. There's no better time than Quad Fair. Come in today. Offers end November 30th, 2002.
4th and goal for Clemson. Harrell and Kelly lining up out of the eye. Robinson split to the bottom of your screen.
Georgia Tech called timeout. Shan Gailey gave Tommy Bowden too much time to think about it. He decides to go for it.
The waggle, Simmons. A chest pass, touchdown. Bobby Williamson. Simmons looked like Houdini.
Once again, it's not the X and O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes. Tommy Bowden, this isn't exactly how he drew that up. I don't think they've spent a lot of time on that little chest pass. But what a great play by Willie Simmons. And I think Tommy kind of likes that thing now. He's going to keep that one in the playbook.
Mark it down. Bobby Williamson, the tight end, making a push for that starting job, perhaps, pushing Ben Hall. Clemson now up 17-6. Willie Simmons said that he was going to bring a new style of football at the quarterbacking position to Clemson, and he did.
Mark, go back to the timeout called by Georgia Tech. Clemson was going to send their field goal team on the field. He gave him too much time. Tommy Bowden gave in with the crowd and decided to go for it. But I think it was a good decision because 13-6 with the field goal is really not a whole lot different than 10-6.
Pretty courageous call to roll your quarterback naked out there like that, huh?
I think it's a great call. And Clemson in 2 backs, fakes the run, comes out on the naked bootleg. Once again, he creates this on his own. And you got to like Bobby Williamson jumping up. When you're a tight end, you don't get many balls. Even though it's a 2-yard touchdown reception, you'll take it to the bank every time.
No doubt. And the reaction of Simmons. Georgia Tech was the school that Simmons almost signed with coming out of high school.
And it was interesting. Tommy Bowden told us yesterday that Simmons was his first high-profile recruit. First blue-chip recruit, and he got him out of the state of Florida, close to Florida State's campus.
Yeah, to Quincy, Florida. Now look at what he's done on the move today. 4 for 4, Bob.
It's great to see coaches smile and have some fun on the sidelines. As hard as you work at this, it really is good to see some smiles down there.
Willie Simmons felt coming into this game he had something to prove. A lot of these players know each other.
Mark, who's that on the cell phone?
Who's he calling?
Somebody's calling home right now. He's explaining. He wants the play-by-play job in the booth.
How'd it look? How'd it look? Quick kick down to the 35. Out to the 40. Let's go back to Steve in the studio. Wow, Steve.
Mark, thanks very much. Coming up on the Nivea for Men halftime report, Trev Alberts will join me. We'll look at Cal and Michigan State, the Spartans, all sorts of turnover problems in the first half. Miami had a healthy lead early against Temple, not anymore. And we'll hear from the guys of game day. That's all coming up at halftime. We'll see you in a couple seconds.
All right, Steve. Simmons taking some 5 on the sidelines.
Maybe we better send Holly down to check out who that phone call was made to with that cell phone. That may be the story of the first half.
Can't sleep on Georgia Tech, though. Traditionally, this is a very close series. Remember, plenty of football to go. This is Jonathan Smith. Brought down right near the line of scrimmage at the 33 by number 45, John Leak. "18 seconds to go now in the first half. Georgia Tech coming in undefeated at 2-0. Trying to stay that way, and this is their first real tough test of the season. They're going to take it into the locker room at 17-6. That's the end of the first half of play. Chan Gailey's crew with the job to do in the second half. Derek Hamilton with 245 all-purpose yards in the first half. More, but right now back to the studio.
Mark, Bob, thank you. See you for second half action. Well, Miami and Temple going at it. The Nivea for Man halftime report. Jason Geathers had a fumble. That led to this. Tenardo Sharp's 15-yard touchdown run up the middle. It was 21-0. It's now 21-14. The #1 team in the land finds themselves in a ball game. Coming up, we mentioned Michigan State and their turnovers. What about Miami and Temple? And we'll hear from the guys of Game Day in Columbus. That's call coming up.
This halftime report presented by Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm. More evolved skincare.
The greatest outdoor show ever is back. New American Sportsman, Mondays at 8 on ESPN2.
You put a lot into getting your car. The least you can do is spend a little more to protect it. Don't settle for anything less than Syntec by Castrol. Its patented technology provides ultimate protection for your engine. Syntec by Castrol. It's the most important thing you can do for your car.
I told you this thing was awesome. The 60-inch plasma HD TV, 4 inches deep, from Zenith. The perfect micro-assassin. It will take 2 extreme agents to stop it. Antonio Banderas, Agent X. That's how I deal with stress. Lucy Liu, Agent Sever.
My turn.
Ballistic, X versus Sever. Rated R. Starts this Friday.
Driving down the road, I spot a dead emu. Having just lost my girlfriend, I decided Mike looked nice mounted in my pool room. However, it quickly becomes apparent that he's not dead. Not at all. I was a touch worried. Until I awoke in a pool hall frequented by a local sorority. And I ask you, was this coincidence or part of something bigger?
It happens on weekends, in towns and cities across the country. Men and women go off to train as soldiers, then come back home to their families, to their friends, to their jobs, and to the rest of their lives. There are more than 180 ways to be a soldier in the Army Reserve, and you can train for many of them right where you live. Become an Army of One. Join the Army Reserve.
Hey, you're finished already. I'll just take a copy up to the boss on 12.
Oh, how helpful, John. I think it's time to use our Imagistics.
Oh, I'll just scan it and email it ahead of him.
Hey, the boss is in a meeting down at 5. I can print it there.
Imagistics, you're making it too easy.
For over 25 years, corporate America has relied on us, Imagistics, providing dependable office document equipment and unparalleled service.
Nice report. Already read it.
Clemson with an awful lot of momentum towards the end of that second quarter. They have a 17-6 lead over Georgia Tech as we welcome you to the Nivea for Men halftime report with Trev Alberts. I'm Steve Levy as they went way down on the depth chart this afternoon to find me. Elsewhere around the country, under new head coach Jeff Tedford at 2-0.
Welcome back, everyone. Memorial Stadium. Frank Howard Field, and a look at Howard's Rock, a piece of stone brought from Death Valley all the way across the country many, many decades ago. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey. Holly Rowe down on the sidelines getting set for the third quarter to begin. A game that we thought might be a little much more higher scoring, but so far there have been some nice big plays.
Things you don't expect. And once again, that kicking game jumps up. Georgia Tech's made some mistakes that haven't killed them in the kicking game, but they made one major mistake when they missed a tackle, and Derek Hamilton went 79 yards. So the things that you expect, the X and O's of offense and defense, this is almost a kicking game, Derek Hamilton game right now.
We've seen it so far in the first 3 weeks of the season here, where the special teams sometimes is the weak link for both teams on the field. That has proven to be the case, especially for Georgia Tech today. Hunt with the kick. Watkins started off at the 5. Got down at the 23-yard line, and the big story of the first half has been the 245 all-purpose yards from Hamilton.
And here you see the big mistake. Albert Corey missing the tackle on Derek Hamilton. Derek Hamilton really gets tired because he had so much yardage in the first half, but he does go over 70 yards with the punt return.
And then on fourth down, Clemson, an efficient 2 for 2. The big one right there, the pass on the little, I guess you'd call it a chest pass to Williamson, the tight end.
I'm not sure, but it's in the playbook now.
We have a player down at the 20-yard line. It's Kelvin Morris, the backup strong safety, number 48.
Mark, you have to think, and you hate to speculate on these things, but you'd have to think that it was cramps, because the same thing happened early in the football game. Right. But he did come back and play in the first half. So hopefully it's not something serious, and it's really the same thing that happened to him at the beginning of the football game.
Let's go downstairs to Holly Rowe.
As you'll remember, Kelvin Morris was injured earlier in the game. It was his knee. He had a slight sprain. They put him right back in the game, and he has not had any problems. Right now, they're still attending to him, as you can see, but it looks like it is a different problem. We'll keep you up to date on that. Let's get you up to date on what the coaches told their team at halftime. Chan Gailey telling his team in the locker room, we're hurting ourselves, whether it's the penalties or the special teams blunders. He also said big plays are killing him. They've got to just crack down, make some big plays, and tackle. Now, for Tommy Bowden, I asked him about that last play going for instead of the field goal, and he said it was a called play to the freshman tight end Williamson. I said, did you have enough confidence in a redshirt freshman? He said, well, my other tight end's a sophomore, so I had to go with one of them. Also, the phone call on the sidelines, guys, that was to Mom, and he is a redshirt player, so I don't think he'll be in trouble.
Holly is on it, right?
Priorities, huh? How did she get that one? The cell phone call, huh? Simmons choreographing the offense in the first half for Clemson, but right now it's Georgia Tech on offense. And do you figure we might see a steady diet of Hollings here to start the half?
Tony Hollings carried the ball 9 times in the first half, which is not a lot of touches. He had 103 yards. I think Tech has to come back and establish Tony Hollings here in the second half. Clemson controlled the time of possession. A big part of it, Tech didn't run the football. So I think you're going to see him particularly early. If Tech falls behind, then you have to abandon that plan. But I think it's really important to get him going here in the second half.
Chan Gailey with a very good reputation for being able to get a good amount of production out of the running game, whoever it may be, and just happens to be Tony Hollings right now. But at the pro level with the Dolphins and with the Steelers, Gailey has been able to really manufacture some wonderful things with some of the running backs. And first of all, let's take a look at the litany of guys that have been productive under him. Jerome Bettis, the bus, Emmitt Smith in Dallas, and really a guy not that well known, Lamar Smith, a couple of years ago with the Miami Dolphins, all courtesy of Chan Gailey's offensive schemes in the rushing game.
In talking to Bill O'Brien, he made the point, Chan Gailey kept the same offense Tech had last year, but he has added to the proficiency of the running game.
First down and 10. First play of the second half for Georgia Tech. Suggs under pressure and sacked back at the 10-yard line by Nick Eason.
That kills you on a play action down. Obviously Clemson playing run, only rushing for Nick Eason. Just a one-on-one move that kills you offensively right there. Great job by Nick Eason.
Second sack of the day for him. A couple of weeks ago, Eason was worried and anxious over some chest pain, but he was subsequently checked out and cleared to play. And Putting the pain on Georgia Tech on that play. 2nd down and 23 now. Suggs overthrowing Glover big time. It'll be 3rd down and long. Outside of Hollins' big touchdown run, offensively, it really hasn't happened for Georgia Tech.
Tech's had some problems on 1st down. You think back late in the second half, they had a second quarter, excuse me, they had a big 1st down down here in Clemson's territory. The intentional grounding penalty. Now they come back and get sacked on 1st and 10 play action. It's tough to call plays in 3rd down and 30.
Got to get to the 33. A little screen pass. Complete to Clinkscale. And he's dropped at the 12. It'll be 4th and long. Good opening series in the half for the Clemson defense.
And you felt this at the end of the 1st half. Clemson's players look like they're having fun. Yeah. They're jumping around, they're energized. Tech to me right now seems a little bit tight, particularly on offense.
Still a lot of football to go for Chan Gailey's crew. Derek Hamilton, the big playmaker on the day so far, standing at the 43, his own 43, to get this punt from Dan Dyke, his 6th punt of the day. It's off a high, nice spiral, driving Hamilton back all the way to the 35. He's exciting, isn't he? Flag down, Hamilton down at the 45. Ran about 30 yards, got about 10 on the return after that 53-yard boot.
Block in the back, above the waist, on the return team, 10 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
Well, we got Tommy Bowden this afternoon. Don't forget tonight, you get the other half of the family. Coach Bobby, Florida State taking on Maryland. Greg Jones running through tacklers against Maryland.
That's
Jones
a good
and E.J.
matchup.
Henderson, look at that, marquee talents.
Greg Jones and E.J. Henderson, that's going to be fun to watch.
1st down and 10. 2 tights, 2 wides, a single back set. Give this to Yusef Kelly, brought down after a gain of about 2. The old ISO formation. That's what you taught me, right? ISO, ace, right? 2 backs, 2 wides. I'm learning, Coach. I'm listening.
You're close. You're close. But you notice Clemson does utilize a lot of 2 tight end formation as well. And they better keep Bobby Williamson in there if it's 4th down, because he's 2 for 2 on 4th down conversions. Right?
Been clutch. Well, he and Ben Hall, the tight ends. Hamilton in motion on 2nd down and 6. Give it to Hamilton on the end around. Brought down at the 37. A nice play by Darryl Smith back at the 37-yard line. We're here at Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina, on Hall of Fame weekend. Georgia Tech against Clemson, the ACC opener for both teams. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe down at the sidelines. The total yardage advantage going to the Tigers right now, almost doubling the output of the Yellow Jackets. It has rained almost steadily all day, although it seemed to be letting up a little bit a few moments ago. 3rd down and 6. Simmons, a rocket, complete to number 83, Tony Elliott, and a 1st down for the Tigers.
The first thing you're going to see is Willie Simmons sitting in the pocket, being very patient. The second thing, if we can come back to it, you're going to see a 2-deep coverage and Tony Elliott down the seam. Kelly Rhino, the nickelback, allowed Tony Elliott inside him in the void area and 2 deep, and Willie Simmons delivered the football on time.
1st down. A little bit high. Intended for Youngblood. And let's go to Steve Levy back in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Illinois now all over Arkansas State. Good idea making John Butcher the #1 quarterback of the Illini. It's Brandon Lloyd as superstar receiver. Can you say 31-7, guys?
Yes, Steve. Bob, speaking of long, rangy, lanky receivers, Lloyd in that mold. 2nd down and 10.
Illinois has some great-looking receivers.
3 receiver formation here. Handoff is to Kelly, and he'll be stopped up behind the line of scrimmage. His forward progress going to be marked at the 44, but a swarm of tacklers led by number 54, Fox, along with Wimbush, making the stop. It'll be 3rd down and long now for the Tigers.
Something interesting at the end of this play. We talk about strip and punch on defense. You see Darryl Smith come in and try to punch that football out. He's fortunate, though, he didn't get a penalty on that because he came in swinging a little bit.
It's a defense that looks to score on defense, frankly. 3rd down and 12. Simmons directing traffic and has a man. Elliott, touchdown. .44 yards for the score.
Well, the storyline of this game is obvious. Willie Simmons breaking contain, putting the defense in a bind. He once again made a great decision. Instead of running with the football, he pulls up and throws a touchdown pass of 44 yards to Tony Elliott.
Aaron Hunt with the extra point. And Clemson leads Georgia Tech 24-6. Willie Simmons said, hey, I'm going to bring brand new style of football at the quarterbacking position to Clemson. He's not lying.
Because we can! Yes, we can!
To look better, to be stronger, to redefine your body and yourself. Introducing the Bowflex Ultimate. Gonna make you quite possibly the best home fitness machine ever made. In as little as 20 minutes a day, 3 times a week, you can get real results that can change your entire body. With over 90 health club quality exercises and up to 410 pounds of resistance, it's like having an entire gym in your home. Bowflex is so effective that we guarantee you'll get the results you want in 6 weeks or less. Own the new Bowflex Ultimate with no money down and monthly payments lower than many health club dues. Call and ask for a free video and brochure and check out the entire Bowflex lineup or visit us on the web today. The new Bowflex for ultimate results.
Funny how the temperature of the fans can change. Just a couple of weeks ago, they were down on Willie Simmons, the fans were. Now they're embracing him. Clemson leading 24-6 with 10:40 to go in the 3rd quarter. One of the big stories, Bob, what he's done on the move today.
Are they having fun, though, on that sideline?
They sure are.
And when you get these kind of athletes with a great wide-open scheme that are having fun and letting it rip, it's exciting for Clemson right now.
That was Simmons' 13th career touchdown pass. It dribbles down to Clinksdale. And Clinksdale brought down at the 23-yard line. Some good decision-making by Simmons, huh?
You're going to see a reoccurring problem right here for Georgia Tech and a great situation for Clemson. Georgia Tech comes with the free safety blitz. Willie Simmons will roll away, and they will lose contain. Now Willie Simmons on the run has a decision. He has a lot of open space, but instead of running for it, he sees the free safety jump up, and he goes to Tony Elliott, who beats Kelly Rhino in behind the free safety. Great decision by Willie Simmons on 3rd and 14, not to just use his athleticism and run for it.
And here's Hollings, broke through the first wave of tacklers, made it all the way out to the 30-yard line. Bodrick a 6'1" grad student, making the stop on the play. There he is. We had a chance to visit with that young man a couple of days ago at the football offices. A real pleasant guy, a broadcast communications major. Well spoken, too.
Impressive. Yeah. Impressive. And he was flat after your job. He made no bones about that. But Clemson with 8 players on this football team that have already graduated.
Doing it the right way, going to school. 2nd down and 2 for Georgia Tech. Little counter once again. This time wrapped up by Bodrick. 2nd consecutive tackle. There's a young man that watches a lot of film, watches a lot of ESPN, so he knows tendencies.
You're going to see Clemson doing an outstanding job and also showing their team speed. Tony Hollings loves to break it outside. But you see Troy Bodrick. You also see the middle linebacker, Rodney Thomas. Right now, momentum is definitely on the side of the guys in orange jerseys.
3rd down and 5. 5 receivers. Here's the old bubble screen. They run it to Hollings, the fastest guy on the team. Good decision. Has a 1st down at the 43-yard line, brought down by Rodney Thomas. And they move the chains with about 9:04 to go now in the 3rd quarter. 17-yard pickup.
Interesting. They normally bring Gordon Klingskill in their 3rd down back. But they go ahead right here and they keep Tony Hollings in the game. They run the jailbreak screen. And Tony Hollings, once again, right now is really the only factor for Georgia Tech. And they're in the empty formation again.
Can I see that play on your Football 101? I'm begging for it. I'm lobbying for it. There he is. In the receiver position once again, now into the backfield. Hollings, they're doing what they can to get him the football, get him some touches. Brought down just shy of the 45 by Rodney Feaster, the backup middle linebacker.
When you talk about Georgia Tech's offense, it's one of the most difficult offenses that I had the opportunity to play against when I was coaching. And it's really the combination of so many things. Obviously, Ralph Friesen was there, did a great job, but they do a lot of different things. One thing we haven't seen is the option look that they normally put on you each and every game.
Trent Daly and Bill O'Brien in his 8th season. Here's Hollings stopped up at the 46. Hey, Steve Levy, what's happening with those Hurricanes?
Well, Mark, remember, this was a 7-point game just prior to halftime. Well, not anymore. Willis McGahee take his time, but go score on the 1-yard touchdown run. His 2nd touchdown of the day. It's now 31-14.
Now they've got McGahee, Gathers, Frank Gore, who is injured, who should be back at some point. What a dilemma to have with all those talented backs in Coral Gables, Florida. 3rd down and 6 right here for Georgia Tech. Glover in motion. Suggs was almost sacked, and Watkins with the 1st down reception at the 33-yard line. Kerry Watkins, the 2nd leading receiver in school history at Georgia Tech, moves the sticks for the Yellow Jackets.
A.J. Suggs, his version of Willie Simmons. He gets a lot of pressure right here from the backside. Feaster, the linebacker, coming on the zone blitz. He avoids the rush. Kelly Watkins steps up and makes a big play.
1st down and 10. Nose of the ball at the 34-yard line. That's lining up this time out of the offset eye. Jonathan Smith in motion. Looks like a throwback, but Hollings either really sold a fake or changed it and runs out of bounds at the 32. They got a late flag on the play, too.
I don't really believe that officials even things up, but let's think about that personal foul that Georgia Tech was charged with on the punt return.
Personal foul. Late hit out of bounds on the defense. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
We're not going to mention makeup calls, but Nivea is a sponsor of the halftime show. One more look.
I don't think there's any question that was an excellent call. Khalid Vaughn over on the sidelines, and it's difficult. Khalid Vaughn's in a difficult situation right there, but Tony Hollings was clearly out of bounds.
We met his mother, Dorothy, a few moments before the game downstairs. Mom certainly Not happy with that decision or that call.
She told me she brought some vittles over.
Oh, some roast potatoes, veggies. Fed him well. He's looking to get fat on Georgia Tech's offense here. Hollings stopped up at the 18-yard line. Tough sledding in the middle. Thomas and Eason, and another flag down on the play. .6:41 to go in the third quarter. Officiating crew going to make sure that they get this right on the first one.
Block in the back. On the offense. 10 yards. Repeat first down.
Let's go downstairs to Holly.
Hey guys, because of the big blowouts that Georgia Tech had in the first 2 games, some of the players were concerned about their toughness in the second half. Tony Hollins in particular didn't know if he could carry the ball for an entire football game. I'll tell you right now, he looks exhausted. The last 2 times they've actually tried to get the ball to him for some quarterback option plays, but right now he's taking a lot of hits from that Clemson defense.
Well, Bob, Holly looked like she was undercover right there, huh? Just lying low on the sideline.
She looks like a catcher. I was ready for her to start giving some signals down there to the pitcher.
First and 20. Suggs. Incomplete. And the fans want a grounding call. Not going to get it, though.
Penalties. Penalties on first down. Jump up and bite Georgia Tech again.
And now Terry Bowden working the officiating crew for a call.
Georgia Tech marked 8 for 8 this year in the red zone. All of a sudden, though, the penalty puts them back at 2nd and 20. They're in a very difficult situation right now.
Yeah, 4 for a total of 46 yards so far. And Georgia Tech going to call a timeout, and we're going to take one right along with them. Timeout with a score 24-6. We'll be right back.
Yeah, where'd you go last night?
We will party hard.
Where did you go?
Nowhere.
Need a better way to check out phones? At Best Buy, we've got the brands and plans you want, even the latest like Virgin Mobile and PCS Vision from Sprint. Best Buy. Go ahead, turn on the fun.
From the minds that brought you the Hayabusa and GSXR sport bikes comes the all-new Quad Sport Z400. Is it still showing off if no one's around to see you?
Stuart Scott and the gang get you ready for Monday night. Monday Night Countdown, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. Delivered by UPS.
ESPN's presentation of college football. Brought to you by Rocky Mountain Cold Coors Light. Cold, down, easy.
I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie. Holly Rowe in her stance on the sidelines. Back here, Clemson, South Carolina. 3rd down and long for Georgia Tech. Under the raindrops. 2nd and 20, actually. 9th play of the drive. Little jailbreak screen, and well read by the Clemson defense. Clingsdale stopped immediately. And Khalid Vaughn making up for that personal foul a few moments ago.
Well, Khalid's mom's happy now.
Yeah. Yeah, Yeah, Dorothy smiling.
The best way to stop the jailbreak screen is from the line of scrimmage. And you're going to see Khalid Vaughn inside out, really retracing his steps off the pass rush, and makes just a tremendous play right there.
Now it's 3rd down and long. Glover in motion. Suggs has a man wide open. Watkins makes the catch and hangs on after being whacked at the 7-yard line. And a 1st down for Georgia Tech. A nice ball by A.J. Suggs. A 22-yard pickup on the play.
A great reception right there by Kerry Watkins. It was a heck of a lick right here by Meekins. But what you're going to see is Clemson in a 3-deep zone. Kerry Watkins goes right down the middle of the field. The free safety comes up with a big stick. That was a huge 3rd down conversion right there.
All 4 of his catches have been for 1st downs today. Look what Georgia Tech has done in the red zone this season. The majority of those 8 scores, touchdowns. Complete. Touchdown, Georgia Tech. Fashi. And the Yellow Jackets right back in this ball game. Seven yards in all on the touchdown catch. In for the extra point in his streak, Luc Manger, his streak of 141 extra points is still alive. The last miscue was classified as a fumble, not a missed extra point attempt. Make that 142. It's an 11-point advantage for the Tigers. Spoke so much about the Clemson tight ends. Well, John Paul Fashi says, hey, I got some skills too. We'll be right back after this.
Youth, the possibilities seem endless. It's time to explore, to dream. But what are these dreams made of? Some say passion, a desire to excel. Through the generations, dreams have been a part of who we are.
As he pulls this ball out of a
and the Atlantic Coast Conference has encouraged these dreams for the past 50 years. Now we invite you to join us for the next 50. The Atlantic Coast Conference, accelerating the dream.
Mr. Big Volume has done it again. Tom Jumper Chevrolet, Georgia's #1 Chevy dealer, passes the volume discounts on to you. Over 1,000 new 2003 Chevys in stock and ready for immediate delivery, with Tahoes starting at $29,993 or $349 per month. Come see why over 100,000 satisfied customers come to Tom Jumper again and again and again. Tom Jumper Chevrolet on Roswell Road, 2 miles outside I-285 in Sandy Springs. Tom Jumper, Mr. Big Volume.
This is your appetite talking, and this is a tasty alert. You're not gonna believe this, baby.
Right now, you can get any 2 subs for just $4. And these are Arby's subs, each with its own great blend of flavors.
That's what I'm talking about.
Choose from hot ham and Swiss, Philly beef and Swiss, or French dip.
Eeny, meeny, miny,
Don't miss any 2 Arby's subs for just $4.
Give in to your grown-up tastes.
John Paul Fashi, the tight end for Georgia Tech, with a touchdown catch of 7 yards just a few moments ago. Swinging the momentum back in favor of Georgia Tech. And Suggs on that drive, very accurate, a 5 for 6, Mark. A total of 51 yards and a key 3rd down conversion to Kerry Watkins. 4:55 to go here in the 3rd quarter of play. Hamilton and Robinson back deep.
You think they'll kick it to Derek Hamilton?
Whew. I would go to the furthest point away from Derek Hamilton, or just squib one down there.
Jackie Robinson's really a good return man and a good football player, but I'd probably kick it to him right now.
Well said. That's where it goes. Robinson at the 12. Brought down at the 30-yard line. Let's take one more look at that touchdown play.
In college football, you are only allowed to block downfield on a pass if the ball's thrown behind the line of scrimmage. On this play, you're going to see Jonathan Smith in motion. He picks Altroy Bodrick from Clemson, and Foshee comes in the flat. Now, as we roll it, I'm not sure that this ball right now is thrown behind the line of scrimmage. I think John Foshee caught the ball on Clemson's side of the line of scrimmage. That could have been a pick penalty called right there on Georgia Tech.
First down and 10. Here's Simmons. Complete to Youngblood at the 33. Pick up about 3 yards. It'll be second down and 7. Youngblood coming into the game, leading the ACC in receptions. Missed last year with a broken leg, so making the most of his opportunity here in the early part of the regular season. Second down and 7. Simmons, 16 of 25. Going up top for Curry. And broken up in a flag. Marvius Hester in the area, along with Jonathan Cox.
Pass interference on the defense. 15 yards. Previous spot. First down.
Let's go to Steve Levy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Wisconsin starting to make their move on Northern Illinois. This is Anthony Davis, 9 yards in for the score. It's 17-9 there. And Duke trying for their second win of the season. A 4-point lead late in the first half, guys.
All right, Steve, it'll be first down and 10 after the penalty. Willie Simmons at the helm. Yusef Kelly almost lost the handoff. Brought down to the 49. Let's take one more look at that pass interference call.
Reese Curry, the fastest player on Clemson's team. Wow. I don't like that call right there. I think that's a tremendous effort by number 29, Marvius Hester. There may have been a little bit of contact with his left hand, but just a great athletic effort by that corner to go up and make a play on that football. The fortunate thing in college football, it's only a 15-yard penalty and not at the spot of the foul. So it only cost Georgia Tech 15 yards. I do like that rule.
All right, second down and 9. Fumble, and Georgia Tech has the ball. Number 44, Tony Hargrove, recovers the loose ball.
We talked back. We talked early in the football game. Tommy Sharp, a walk-on center. But even when Tommy Sharp wasn't the center, they had 7 quarterback center exchanges, or excuse me, 6 quarterback exchange problems in the Georgia game, 2 last week against Louisiana Tech. That just kills you. Once again, a self-inflicted mistake by Clemson's offense. Georgia Tech had nothing to do with that lack of execution.
Clemson with a couple of turnovers today. And first down and 10. We'll see how opportunistic A.J. Suggs can be here. He was sharp on his last drive. He was 5 of 6 and completes a pass here. Far side of the field, that was Watkins with a first down for the Yellow Jackets at the 31.
Tremendous protection right here by Georgia Tech, but a good play call. Play action pass on 1st and 10. You give A.J. Suggs that much time, and you're in zone coverage, somebody's going to be open. Altroy Bodrick right there playing 3 deep coverage. Kerry Watkins gets in behind him for a big pickup on 1st and 10.
Yellow Jackets on the move. And Suggs will signal for a timeout and walk over to the sidelines. We're going to stay right here. And folks, remember, tomorrow night on ESPN, 2 longtime AFC rivals meet. Rich Gannon and the Raiders make their first trip to the new Heinz Field in Pittsburgh. Cordell Stewart will be looking to bounce back after a tough opening game in New England. The Raiders and Steelers on NFL Sunday Night Football. Coverage begins with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite. at 7:30 Eastern. ESPN and ABC, your exclusive home for primetime football. And boy, it's been a nice, it's been an enjoyable few days here for us here in Clemson, South Carolina. Bob had an opportunity to see the area a little bit and made our first visit to the Esso Club.
It really has. This is a beautiful place, and I couldn't help but laugh yesterday. Tommy Bowden, who loves Clemson and loves the small town atmosphere, was talking about here in Clemson, where there's only 12,000 people population. He said the big excitement this summer was they resodded the field here at Clemson, reseeded it, and they'd come out once a week and see how the grass grew. The second thing he said they built a new Waffle House. So between the grass growing in Clemson Stadium and building a new Waffle House, this was an exciting summer. No one vacationed out of Clemson this summer. They all stayed at home.
I'm a big Waffle House guy. I might hit that on the way to the highway after the game.
Are we allowed to give them a little pub like that?
We just did, yeah.
We did.
Give me a free number 3 combo. First down and 10. Jonathan Smith in motion, gets the ball on the reverse. Nice move, and he fumbles it. Recovered by Thomas. And Thomas gets the ball back for Clemson. And there's a flag down back at the 48-yard line. If this stands, that'll be Clemson's first takeaway of the day. Not bad for a defense that finished 102nd in the nation in takeaways a season ago.
We have multiple fouls on the play. On the return, we got holding on the return team. That'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Then we have a dead ball, personal foul on this team. Be 15 yards, first down.
Seen a few of those today from both sides.
On the reverse, you see Jonathan Smith, a great move, given great effort. Brian Mance comes up, makes a big hit. Once again, a wide receiver carrying the football. He has to protect the football. Huge momentum swing. That was a first down play right there for Georgia Tech.
Oh, no doubt. First and 10. Kelly trying to bounce it outside and brought down at the 45-yard line by Kieran Fox. Let's go back to Steve in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Michigan State, finally, they're on the scoreboard, trailing 25-0 to Cal. Jeff Smoker and Charlie Rogers. They've just picked off Kyle Bowler as well, but the Rogers catch is significant. And we told you at the break, Rogers moves within one game of joining some pretty elite company. Only 3 players have caught a touchdown in more consecutive games than Rogers.
All right, Steve, 2nd and 15. Simmons. Almost, and they're going to say it's picked up. They took it right back. Rhino. What a play. Took it out of the arms of Derek Hamilton.
Mark, this is a great play by Kelly Rhino, but if you look what Georgia Tech did, they contained Willie Simmons. For the first time today, they had contained. They made him stay in the pocket. Kelly Rhino with just a great play taking that football out of his hands. But give credit to Georgia Tech of keeping Willie Simmons inside the throwing lane and didn't allow him outside to break contain.
First down and 10. It's been a series of turnovers last couple of minutes. Hollings holds onto the ball, brought down at the 48-yard line. There's a look at Kelly Rhino, the nickelback, starting nickelback for Georgia Tech. We're here at Memorial Stadium, Clemson, South Carolina. ACC opener for both these teams. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe down on the sidelines. Simmons throwing an interception a few moments ago. Clemson's 3rd turnover of the day. Georgia Tech with 1.
You feel like Tech down only 11 points, to be patient and give the ball to Tony Hollings a little bit here. Put it back on his shoulders.
That's exactly what they do, but shouldering the load defensively is Fred Wright. Number 58 for Clemson, who made the stop. Howard on the play. It'll be 3rd down and long. 9 to go for Georgia Tech. In comes Jonathan Smith, who fumbled just a few moments ago. Hollins, meanwhile, getting a breather on the sideline. Suggs barely getting the playoff in time. Batted down at the line of scrimmage by Eric Coleman. And it's 4th down for the Yellow Jackets. Well, Saturday, a doubleheader on ABC. Washington against Ohio State. What a huge day for the Big Ten. Number 16 USC against number 19 Colorado, and Mississippi against Texas Tech. Then a couple of nightcaps. Nebraska against Penn State. And number 2 Texas against North Carolina. Mac Brown's old school's doing battle. His present and his last one. 4th down and 9. That's Hamilton back at his own 9-yard line. Hamilton trying to make it happen again. This time, nothing doing. Tackled at the 11-yard line. A 41-yard punt. 3 yards on the return. Willie Simmons on the move in a big way today. Out of the pocket, Bob. On the run is when he's really made things happen.
He really has, and it puts the defensive secondary in such a predicament. Do they come up as he breaks the line of scrimmage, or do they stay back and defend pass?
What's the best way to contain something like that? We saw them do it on that last play.
It's not easy, but outside pressure, and they probably went into this game with a plan to flush Willie Simmons out of the pocket because he had been exposed against Georgia a little bit.
Here he is, rolling out again, complete to Youngblood. Brought down just shy of the 20-yard line. Big challenge for John Tenuta, the D coordinator for Georgia Tech.
Interesting. John Tenuta was at North Carolina last year as a defensive coordinator. They came in here and held Clemson to 200 yards, the lowest amount of yardage in Tommy Bowden's career as an offensive coach. This year he's at Georgia Tech. Not quite the same personnel on defense, but they're playing pretty solid defense right now.
And his defense at North Carolina really liked to blitz over 50% of the time. 2nd and 2. Kelly stopped up short of the 1st down by Darryl Smith. That'll be the last play of the 3rd quarter. A very intriguing quarter that saw several turnovers and a takeaway by that guy, Kelly Rhino. We'll be back for the 4th right after this.
Beg, Borrow, and Deal premieres Tuesday on ESPN.
Where you stay, boys? Let's go get a couple beers. I don't know, man. I told my gal I'd be home early. Dude, it's The Rock. Be home early, brother.
You wanna roll with the kid? Rock. I make something rock, and I mix it with the hip hop. Got money like Born. I'll forever be the kid. Rock.
What? You said early.
Forever.
Why do I rent from Enterprise? For more cargo room. More people room. Or more headroom. Enterprise. So easy it's like having a second car. Or third.
Pick Enterprise. We'll pick you up.
One video is making the biggest splash on VHS and DVD. Van Wilder, starring Ryan Reynolds and Tara Reid. Hey. Don't let this opportunity slip away. National Lampoon's Van Wilder. Play it today.
What do you see?
I see no excitement in your life.
And I see why. I see new KFC Honey Cajun Wings in your future. It's a magical blend of Cajun herbs, spices, and honey. Pump up the spice in your life. Join me, won't you?
Introducing new Honey Cajun Wings, glazed in spicy Cajun sauces. 8 for $2.99 or 20 for only $7.49. Or in Honey Barbecue Wings.
You know, if they keep the wings coming, we could live in here.
New Honey Cajun Wings and Honey Barbecue Wings from KFC.
There's fast food, and then there's KFC.
Starbucks Double Shot is an invigorating blend of espresso and cream to get you going.
Stadium, yeah, they let some Georgia Tech fans in too, folks, separated by about 125 miles of Interstate Highway 85. 3rd down and 1 for the Tigers. And dropped by Derek Hamilton. You won't see that often. Speaking of Derek Hamilton, a look at our ESPN game track. He had 245 yards of total offense, 265 in the first half. There's been somewhat kept in check here in the second half, Bob.
He carried the ball 4 times for 98 yards in the first half. He's 1 for -2 in the 3rd quarter.
And Georgia Tech with a costly miscue there. They've shot themselves in the foot a few times today. 4th down and 1. Rhino back at his own 43 to get this punt. A low line drive one that's returnable at the 38. Good coverage by the Tigers, and let's go back to Steve in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Northern Illinois, they're not running and hiding against Wisconsin today. Josh Haldy, 33-yard pass to Dan Sheldon. That set up a Michael Turner 3-yard touchdown run. It went for 2. It failed. And how's the Big Ten working out for Purdue today? Not that well. They're trailing Western Michigan at home, 14-7, guys.
All right, speaking of Wisconsin,
Illegal formation on the kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll repeat 4th down.
I was going to finish off that point about Wisconsin. They should be getting back Lee Evans the next few weeks. Should help their offense out a little bit. 4th down and 6. You heard the call. We're going to do it again on 4th down.
And you don't want to re-kick it with Kelly Rhino back there.
Kelly Rhino with a history of making big plays on special teams, especially punt returns.
I'd like to know if he ever fair catches. I have never, in all the tape I've watched on him, I don't know that I've ever seen him fair catch. So you know what's going to happen right now, don't you?
We're going to call for one. Yeah. Now, his right arm doesn't go above his shoulder, I'm sure. Here comes the pocket Rhino, Kelly Rhino. Made a couple of people miss, and another flag down right where Rhino is brought down after that 41-yard punt and 7-yard return. Let's go downstairs. A little family matter to discuss with Holly Rowe.
Okay, guys, you don't often see the son break the father's record, but that's what Kelly Rhino has done on the return yards for Georgia Tech. And Randy, I know that your son is a very tough young man, but what were you thinking when you let your son go into special teams?
Well, he's got a great big heart and a lot tougher football player than I ever was.
The guys upstairs think they've never seen him fair catch. Does he have it in his makeup to fair catch?
If he is told to fair catch, he will fair catch, but that's usually the only time.
It's a great compliment to you. I know your father played for Georgia Tech, you played for Georgia Tech, and now your son. The compliment was from the Clemson guys. They said he's been a tough nut in our side all 3 years, and he's a pain for them. That's got to be a nice compliment for the family.
It is, and like I said, I'm very proud of him, and his granddad's very proud of him.
Now, I have to ask, because being 5'3" myself, he's a short little guy. You're not the tallest man in the world. How did you guys come by your football strength and prowess?
I guess we got it from Granddad. That's all I can tell you.
I guess with a name like Rhino, you pretty much have to be tough, right?
Well, that's a name I got kidded a lot when I was a kid, but it's a name that, as I've told people, is very easy to remember, and that kind of helps us as athletes as we move on down the road.
You had a chance to get up close with the Rhino. Those are pretty ferocious creatures. Quite a reputation to uphold.
Well, we're built like rhinos. If you ever look at our bodies, short arms and short legs.
My gosh, I hope you don't have daughters. Good luck to them. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Holly. McNeil making that last stop. But that Rhino wasn't in their backyard at home or anything, was it, Bob? I think that was the Atlanta Zoo. I hope it was. Let's look at Kelly Rhino. Had an interception and a nice punt return a few moments ago. 3rd down and long now for Georgia Tech. Down only 11 points. 13 and a half minutes to go here in the fourth quarter. Last 6 games between these two teams have all been decided by just 3 points. Suggs has plenty of time. Almost picked off by Mance. Right into his arms. That's the 6th 3-and-out for Georgia Tech today.
Starts with great protection by Georgia Tech. You're going to see Clemson in a 3-deep zone. Brian Mance, an unbelievable opportunity to make an interception on the football. He's a return guy. You would expect him, after being able to catch punts, to make this play. And it's something John Lovett talked about yesterday in that meeting. Mark, he talked about when you have an opportunity to make a play, make the play.
And the defense has forced 8 turnovers in 3 games now. It took them 7 games to reach that total this season ago. Hamilton, knee touched at the 24-yard line, so they'll whistle it dead right there. A 35-yard punt, 3 yards on the return, timeout on the field. We'll be right back.
The Acura RSX, one of Car and Driver's 10 best for 2002.
Easy Twist by Easy Clip. Also available with a magnetic sun clip at your local eye care professional.
Premium tires don't have to be expensive.
Our 70,000-mile premium Futura touring tires aren't expensive.
They start at just $35.99 each.
$35.99 each is a great deal.
Futuras are some of the best tires made. They just cost less.
Pep Boys, we're car people.
Healthy Choice introduces everything you love about a grilled meal without the grill. New Healthy Choice mixed grills. Tender chunks of grilled chicken with seared-in flavor, tangy barbecue dipping sauce, and crisp vegetables. A delicious way to eat healthy. Real food and plenty of it.
Just the way I like it. Grilled.
6 new mixed grills from Healthy Choice.
Billy Gibbons, world-class car collector. Oh, he also dabbles in music. And he knows different players perform differently, like different engines. That's why he uses new, fine-tuned Quaker State higher mileage engine. It can help improve performance in older engines by restoring power.
Sure could use help changing my oil.
Ah, for the life of a rock star. For performance you can count on. Quaker State, stay tuned.
Clemson with an 11-point lead. Bob, I'm going to give you one guess where the Georgia Tech fans have been.
A couple things jump out at me right here. One, the people in the orange outnumber the people in the yellow. The second thing, the visitors don't get very good seats when they're on the road.
Football is all about outnumbering your people, right? Your opponent. 1st and 10, Simmons. Out of bounds, incomplete for Youngblood. It'll be 2nd down and 10. A little timing pattern. 3-step drop by Simmons.
Well, there's the matchup we talked about. The 6'5" receiver going against the 5'11" cornerback. And that time, the 5'11" quarterback, Marvius Hester, forces him into the sideline and uses the sideline as an extra defender. Kevin Youngblood ran out of room.
Picks up a 2nd down and 10. Simmons on the quarterback draw. Stopped up. It'll be 3rd down and long. And let's go to the Michigan State Cal update with Steve in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Remember, Cal had a 25-0 lead in this game. Well, here comes Michigan State now. Jeff Smoker to Jason Randall, and it's a 25-14 game. And they're throwing a party. Notre Dame has scored not only a touchdown, an offensive touchdown. We'll keep you posted.
Boy, tough to think of a situation where a team goes 2-0 and still hadn't scored an offensive touchdown. 1st win. Yeah, that's what counts. Simmons out of harm's way and then tripped at the 25. And Clemson forced to punt now with 12:10 to go in the fourth.
You get the feeling right now that Georgia Tech is hanging around just enough. They've had several opportunities here in the late third and into the fourth quarter to make a dent in this 11-point lead. They need to step up here, and they will be right back in this football game. But Clemson has kind of bogged down a little bit offensively.
Fourth down and 9, and Clemson hasn't had many problems in the kicking game like they did earlier in the season, especially against Georgia. Wincott with a high punt. Rhino at the 39. Good coverage once again. A 36-yard punt. 1 yard on the return. Ty Hill, the backup tailback, with the stop. We'll be right back.
The Acura RSX, one of car and driver's 10 best for 2002.
Get more than 100 additional games with the ESPN Game Plan College Football Pay-Per-View Package. It's maximum college football. To order, call your local cable operator, DirecTV, or Dish Network.
Freedom should be accessible to everyone. That's why for a limited time, we're giving you 0% financing for up to 60 months on every 2002 Jeep vehicle. That's 100% of our entire 2002 lineup. And to make 0% financing even better, it's backed by our 7-year or 70,000-mile powertrain limited warranty. But hurry, because while Freedom will go on, 0% financing won't. Check one out today.
Looking around for a practical, affordable car? Running over here, running over there? It would be a lot easier to go to VHIX.com. VHIX.com has everything you need to know. Models, packages, standard equipment, options, reviews, and prices all in one website. Making shopping for a practical car, well, a lot more practical. The all-new, easy-to-use VHIX.com. Roadmap to the automotive world.
ESPN's presentation of college football brought to you by ConAgra Foods. We set America's table, home and away.
What is that? Oh, look, it's a tiger paw. That's what it is. Okay. Clemson with an 11-point lead. But Georgia Tech with the ball, 1st and 10 from the 40. A shuffle pass to Hollings. Brought down at the 49, about a yard shy of the first down by Meekins. Since the first half, Georgia Tech really hasn't moved the ball that well.
And that's why you feel this game is changing right now. Clemson, their last 3 offensive possessions, 1 play and a fumble, 2 series of 3 and out. Great opportunity right now for Georgia Tech to make this one heck of a football game coming down to the wire.
Suggs, the Tennessee transfer, going the distance. 2nd down and 1. Flushed out and sacked. Back at the 36-yard line by J.J. Howard. Moves the ball all the way back to the 36. It'll be 3rd and long.
You're going to see 2 things on this. One, the ability of Clemson to 4-man rush, but also the inability of J.J. Suggs to avoid pressure. That is the difference between Willie Simmons and A.J. Suggs. With a 4-man rush and that kind of pressure, you have to be able to scramble and move around and create something.
Sending out 5 receivers on this formation. Suggs. Watkins turned around at the last minute but couldn't corral the ball. Watkins, who won the game for them a couple of years ago, looking to make a miracle there but couldn't. Got just a little bit twisted at the end of that pattern.
Well, Kerry Watkins right here gets behind to free safety. Could have been a home run. But let's talk about Clemson's defense. Clemson's defense right now is controlling this football game. A big area of concern last year for this football team. Didn't play well. Had a lot of young players. They bring in a new defensive coordinator, John Lovett from Auburn. Clemson has played excellent defense the first 3 games of this football season.
And stark contrast to last year when they averaged almost 400 yards surrendered per game. This will take a Clemson bounce back towards the 30-yard line and a flag down at the 27. A 34-yard punt.
I think they're going to get number 9, Justin Miller, the freshman, for an illegal block right there.
Coach is letting them know about it, too.
Block in the back on the receiving team. 10 yards. First down.
Steve Levy in the studio. What's up?
Mark, they're trading touchdowns in East Lansing. Cal and Michigan State. Kyle Bowler here on a 3-yard keeper. Cal has just picked off Jeff Smokers. They've got the football back, and they're cruising. They're at the Michigan State 30. Duke leads Northwestern by a point.
Well, that's a game that Michigan State cannot afford to lose. They have a nice stretch of home games. First down and 10. Little screen. At the 17. Tonight at 7:45 Eastern on ESPN. Number 5, Florida State taking on the Maryland Terrapins. Chris Ricks in action. It's College Football Saturday Night, presented by the U.S. Postal Service on ESPN. A look at some of the nuggets from this series between the two crews. Florida State has won 9 ACC titles. Interestingly enough, it's Clemson that leads the ACC with conference titles with 13. Here's Kelly into the boundary, made a nice move. Got close to the first down at the 27-yard line, finally stopped by Jeremy Myers. And Kelly got the first down for Clemson.
You're going to see a good block right here by Gregory Walker, the offensive tackle. They pull him around, and Yusef Kelly breaks it out to the outside. A missed tackle opportunity right there, but you see the strength of Yusef Kelly.
At 225 pounds. They got some good-looking athletes, Clemson does. First down and 10.
Clemson needs to take this football offensively right now and put this game away.
They're asking Kelly to help do it, but he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 27 by Fox. Boy, look at the time of possession. It's really flipped in the second half here.
And I think that's why the challenge now goes back to Clemson's offense to step up and seal this football game. Their defense has played extremely well because Georgia Tech has had a lot of opportunities here in the second half.
Backside of the eye this time. Kelly out to the 35. He's about 4 yards short of the first down. It'll be third and about 4 to go. Clemson's last 6 possessions, a couple of touchdowns, but then the last 4 have been very anemic. Fumble, a pick, and a couple of punts. As we approach 7.5 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, both teams looking to get a leg up in the ACC standings. This is the first league opener. Simmons incomplete, and a late flag at the 41-yard line.
May get a legal receiver downfield. It was a screen that never quite developed.
Well, Tommy Bowden spent a lot of the afternoon in the officials' ears collectively.
Ineligible receiver, downfield on the passing team. The penalty is declined. Fourth down.
So the last 5 possessions now fruitless for Clemson.
This is a great time if you're Georgia Tech. I think you need to come after this punter. And I know Wynn Cobb gets the football off quickly, but right now you need to make something happen. You need a spark right now in this kicking game if you're Georgia Tech.
He gets it off at about 1.9. Rhino hit by his own man. A flag down at the 30. A 35-yard punt. And once again, on special teams, we see another penalty.
Kick catching interference on the kicking team. 10 yards on the spot of the foul. First down.
We've seen Clemson called for this now several times today. We'll be right back.
The Acura MDX with available navigation system and off-road tracking. The Acura RSX, one of Car and Driver's 10 best for 2000.
We're back on a late summer overcast afternoon here at Clemson's Memorial Stadium. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey and Holly Rowe. First down and 10 for Georgia Tech. Ball on its own 41-yard line. Keep in mind the last 6 meetings between these two crews have been extremely tight. Hollings cutting it back. Got a good block from Suggs, his quarterback. And is near the first down at the 49-yard line of Clemson. Let's go to Steve Levy.
Mark, thank you. Hey, what's going on at Camp Randall this afternoon? Northern Illinois in town. Michael Turner, the big run. A couple of plays later, he banged it in from the lawn, and Auburn has scored again. Cadillac Williams having himself a ball game. Guys?
The Huskies of Northern Illinois.
Wow. Upset brewing there in Madison. Second down and 1 here in Clemson.
Great opportunity. You call it the waist down right here to try to get a big play.
Came on the naked bootleg and was sacked by Khalid Vaughn. And somewhere among those 80,000 fans, his mother Dorothy's up cheering.
Khalid Vaughn coming from the wide side of the field, gets up the field, really abandoned the run, played play action fake. Another huge negative play by Clemson's defense, sets up a 3rd and 10. I'm not sure Georgia Tech won't have to go for it on 4th down. This may be 2 downs right now for Georgia Tech to make the first down.
With just under 6 minutes to go, and Georgia Tech calling a timeout. As Suggs walks over to the sideline. We're going to stay right here, and a big play moments ago by Khalid Vaughn. Clemson's defense tops in the ACC in rush defense, and they have had Suggs under pressure all afternoon long.
When you go out and watch Clemson's practice, the first thing that jumps out at you is the size, athleticism, and the depth of their defensive line in particular. They're all tall, talented, athletic guys. And they are a team that I think will need to be reckoned with in this ACC. They're a talented team. The talent level here at Clemson has risen in Tommy Bowden's years here at Clemson.
All right, let's go downstairs for more from Holly Rowe.
Guys, back in the 80s, in particular 81, when Clemson won the national championship, they hung their hat on defense. They lost that reputation last year, and they say they were downright embarrassed. The new coordinator, John Lovett, came in and told the kids, everything is open. Nobody's a starter. Positions are open for competition. And what that's done, these kids are energetic. You should see them down here on the sideline. They're going after it. We had a second player, a bench player, come in, J.J. Howard, and get a sack. So everybody's excited. They know they can get on the field if they perform. And boy, it has energized this Clemson defense.
Ollie, where's the cell phone right now?
Well, one more big play by the Clemson defense, and there might be a couple of cell phone calls down there. 3rd and 10 for Georgia Tech. Wide open Watkins. A lifesaver. Kerry Watkins still on his feet. And a first down at the 27-yard line. In the time of need, it's been Suggs to Watkins.
A flashback to what happened earlier in the game on 3rd down. Clemson brings 4 on the rush. The first thing you see is great protection right here. Great protection. Once again, it's a 3-deep zone, and you get Kerry Watkins right in the middle of that zone. Great throw, great catch. This same thing happened. It's deja vu. It happened earlier on Georgia Tech's other touchdown.
And they keep the drive alive. A critical 3rd down conversion. Watkins 6 catches today, a total of 125 yards. They come at timely junctures. Here is Hollins. Using that speed to get to the edge, brought down just shy of the 15 by Eric Meekins.
Run down by number 3, Eric Meekins. Picked up 10 yards on the play.
You have to think about right now, I know we're ahead of ourselves, but if Tech scores, they go for 2, and it's 24-21, a 3-point game.
Think back to that bobbled snap on the extra point earlier in the game.
Great point, because that forces them to go for 2 if they score.
Hollins today, boy, Bob, 19 rushes for a total of 149 yards.
And you have to be thinking right now, if you give the football to Tony Hollins 25 or 30 times, as strong as he is and the breakaway potential he has, what that may do for your offensive football team.
Yeah, good prospects lying ahead for Chan Gailey and his offensive staff. Don't forget, coming up after the game, the College Game Day scoreboard show brought to you by Acura. Michigan State, will they be upset by Northern Illinois, or won't they? Game Day gang in Columbus, Ohio, and highlights from Miami against Temple. That game was a little bit tight earlier. First down and 10 from the 16. Smith in motion. They give it to Hollins with the lead blocker. He cuts it back so well. Hollins down to the 3-yard line. And a touchdown-saving tackle made by Howard on the play.
Mark, he is the real deal. He is impressive. And the thing that draws my attention is how well he cuts back and the kind of vision he has. Right here, there's nothing at the point of attack, but he has the vision to see the hole, take it back against the grain, and then the strength to break that tackle right there by Altroy Bodrick.
First down and goal to go. Just under 5 minutes to go. Toss it to Hollins again. Ran through one tackler. Man, great leg drive down to the 1-yard line. Got a couple on the play. It'll be second down and goal. He's good between the tackles too, Bob.
He's strong. He doesn't look 225 pounds, but he is. One thing right now, I think Georgia Tech needs to pick the tempo up a little bit. Don't get yourself in too big of a hurry, but it's down to 4 minutes in this football game.
Hollins the deep back out of the eye this time. Foshee in motion. Hollins up top and bent. He got stuck up high by Rodney Thomas. It'll be third down and goal.
You always teach on goal line defense. If the ball carrier goes up high, you go up high. And you see the effort right there by Rodney Thomas His vertical is every bit what Tony Holling's vertical is. That's a great effort right there by the middle linebacker, Rodney Thomas.
John Leak also helping out in the stop. 3rd and goal. Leak again. Got in for the touchdown. Inside, outside, any which way, it's Hollings for the score. And they're going to go for 2.
That time, Tony Hollings breaking the football outside almost got him in trouble. It really looked like he should have stayed up inside. There looked like a crease in there, but he breaks it outside. Once again, he breaks a tackle. Tremendous effort. But, Mark, we're back to that scenario of the missed extra point or the botched extra point on the mechanics early in the game forces Georgia Tech to go for 2.
Yeah, this is a big 2-point conversion. It would put them to within a field goal. With 3:43 to go here. Suggs complete, but brought down short is Foshi. You have to look back at the history between these two teams. The last 6 games decided by 3 points. Are we in for another cardiac finish? Stick around.
Loss made her a rebel.
I had a family.
Only one man can make her a hero. Antonio Banderas, Lucy Liu, Ballistic X vs. Simmer. Rated R. Starts this Friday.
Say goodbye to rigid equipment contracts and tap into the Kinko's network.
You want to go? You want to go, little man? Huh, well, do you then? Well, dance, little man, dance. You want to go? You want to go? Well, you're the tackling dummy. Dummy. Am I stuttering? I'm asking one more time. Do you want to go? Mama can't help you now. It's big boy school.
Recess is over. Ray Lewis has his game on. Do you? Madden NFL 2003.
If it's in the game?
EA Sports. It's in the game. Rated E for everyone.
Now there's a better way to soothe your skin after shaving. Nivea for Men Aftershave Balm has advanced moisturizers and vitamins to soothe and improve your skin. Nivea for Men, or Evolve Skincare.
Pushing myself to the limit is what this is all about, and I need an antiperspirant that can keep up. Now there's new high endurance clear gel. Try it. If you don't like it, Old Spice will buy you a stick of something else. A clear gel that strong? I'm there. New Old Spice high endurance clear.
24-19, 3:43 to go in the 4th quarter. Let's go downstairs to Holly Rowe.
Guys, right now the decision to go for 2. Obviously, you might think, why not put it in Tony Hollings' hands? I can tell you right now, he's an exhausted young man. For 5 minutes here, he's been sitting in the chair trying to catch his breath. Right now, they're taping up his pants. His pants were ripped off at the thigh on his touchdown. And right now, guys, they've been riding him. He's been a workhorse. I don't know how much longer he'll be able to keep this up.
They could get a seamstress down there, Holly, to get him all fixed up. He has been an incredible asset for this offense for Georgia Tech. Isaiah kicking off. Back deep. That's Mance. Mance is tackled at the 16-yard line. Let's go back in time to the last 2 contests between Clemson and Georgia Tech.
16 yards from the go-ahead touchdown. Dodsey to the end zone again, and it is caught! Touchdown, Kerry Watkins! 3rd down and 6. Dantzler keeps it. Dantzler, touchdown! Clemson wins!
Wow, a couple of great finishes.
Great finishes. Little things in college football, though. Georgia Tech has burnt all 3 of their timeouts. They have no timeouts left right now.
And they hand it off to Yusef Kelly, who uses up a little bit more time running the ball. There's a look at the timeout situation. As we approach 3 minutes to go here in the 4th quarter. Chan Gailey in his first year as head coach at Georgia Tech in his first conference game. 2nd down and 5 for the Tigers.
Clemson, as you know, will take this down to 1 second left on the 25-second clock. They do not want to stop the clock for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech cannot stop the clock.
Play clock at 2. Kelly into the boundary. Couple of nice moves by the big fella. And he has a first down at the 30-yard line. Well, it is Hall of Fame weekend here in Clemson, South Carolina, and maybe he was inspired by some of those Hall of Fame inductees. Yusef Kelly with a nice run and a first down for Clemson. You don't have to look very far to find inspiration here at Memorial Stadium. Butler, Davis, the list goes on and on.
But where's the fridge? They announced the fridge's name at halftime, but I didn't see him.
Had someone show up in his honor, and at first I thought, boy, the fridge looking a little slimmer these days.
I thought
but it wasn't
the same thing.
First down and 10. That coming with a little pressure, and it's Kelly again. Got an alley. And another first down at the 45 of the Yellow Jackets.
I'm really impressed with Yusef Kelly right here, taking it on the zone play and bouncing it outside for a big gain. The second thing I'm impressed with is his presence to stay in bounds. To stay in bounds, keep the clock running right here.
Well, Bernard Rembert hoping to come back soon, but Kelly looking to hang on to that starting spot. Averaging 4.5 yards a pop so far. First down and 10. Bad snap and a fumble. It's loose. And Georgia Tech has recovered the loose ball. That's the third miscue on snaps today.
Oh.
And a late flag at the 43.
Mark, unbelievable. First of all, Clemson fumbling the snap on the shotgun snap.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Georgia Tech. 15-yard penalty. First down.
I'll be honest, I didn't see exactly
where
that call came from.
Georgia Tech threw the football up in the air in celebration, and it cost him. But going back to the center exchange, Jermaine Chester, the starter, number 68, is in the football game. You have to ask right now, why is Clemson in the shotgun? But Clemson, quite honestly, is in the shotgun as much as they're under center. But the big mistake is the 15-yard penalty by Georgia Tech of celebration.
And there's a look at the center on that last exchange, Chester, who did not start the game but came in. Suggs out of the shotgun. Almost intercepted by Thomas. Those hands all taped up. He couldn't squeeze the pill.
Well, there's a reason he's a linebacker and not a tight end. He has great vertical right there. Give him credit. He got his hands on the football. That would have been a difficult interception right there for Rodney Thomas.
That sets up a second down and 10. Suggs 15 of 28 today, a touchdown pass and 168 total yards throwing. And he adds to the total with a completion at midfield, actually on Clemson's side of midfield at the 47 to Watkins. That's his money man.
Plenty of time. Plenty of time. The 15-yard celebration penalty. Think of where the football would be right now for Georgia Tech. But that's over. That's behind them. It's time right now to just get down and put themselves in a position to win this football game.
They come out with a 4-receiver formation. Suggs. Oh, boy, he laid it right in there. A first down again at the 30-yard line. LaKedrick Bridges.
LaKedrick Bridges, the true freshman, the fastest player on Tech's team. Clemson gives him deep respect. Once again, they throw it over top of the strong safety for a big throw. Just as importantly, he got out of bounds to stop the clock.
First down and 10. Picked off. Sampson. Eric Sampson. somewhere on that offensive unit, Chester is breathing much easier now.
What kills you on this play if you're Georgia Tech? First of all, it's on first down. So they had 3 more opportunities. The second thing, A.J. Suggs just flat threw it right there to Eric Sampson. But probably the happiest guy on this field right now, other than Tommy Bowden, is Jermaine Chester, the offensive center, who rolled it back on the ground. I'll make you another bet right now, Mark. They will not be in the shotgun the rest of this football game.
Simmons going to do his best to make sure the ball travels from ground to his hands safely. Eric Sampson with a big play just a few moments ago. While we chronicled the history, we documented it, this series has been extremely competitive over the last 6 years. You can make that 7.
Georgia Tech had their opportunities in this football game, but they continuously shot themselves in the foot. Give credit to Clemson's defense again for sudden change defense, having to go back on the field after a turnover and keeping Georgia Tech out of the end zone.
All right, 2nd and 12, and don't forget that coming up next on ESPN is the Game Day Scoreboard presented by Acura. And for extended post-game coverage of today's game, tune into ESPN News Post-Game Extra for interviews, commentary, and analysis. Well, Willie Simmons waited a long time for this moment. 3 years in all. He said he wanted to be the man. Today he was the man, guiding the offense up and down the field and on to victory, 24-19. Final thoughts, Bob?
2 things. I'm impressed with Clemson and their athleticism, ability to make plays. I think Georgia Tech is a good football team. Too many silly mistakes to come into a place like Death Valley and beat a good Clemson team.
All right, a riveting win it was for Clemson. Our final score, 24-19. Coming up next, it's the College Game Day Scoreboard presented by Acura. For more on this game, tune over to ESPN.